Bonjour à tous, si vous regardez cette vidéo sur Twitch ou sur YouTube de Telkino, il s'agit du premier épisode de Black Mirror 3. Alors, c'est l'heure du résumé. On essaie de faire un résumé, ça va bien Kalimoun cool. Black Mirror, Gabriel Knight, Baphomet. Ce sont des bons jeux, aucun rapport. Je baisse un petit peu les... Voilà, tout ça. Alors, déjà, Black Mirror 1, sorti en 2003. Le jeu se passe en 1981. On joue le rôle de Samuel Gordon, pour ceux qui ne se rappellent pas. Donc, Samuel Gordon est le petit-fils de William Gordon. La famille Gordon possède un château qui s'appelle le Black Mirror, le château noir. Et Samuel Gordon revient 12 ans après la mort de son grand-père qui s'est jeté du haut d'une tour du château et qui s'est empalé sur des pics. Et donc, il enquête sur la mort de son grand-père. Il se rend compte, au bout d'un moment, que la famille Gordon est atteinte d'une malédiction, appelée la malédiction Gordon, c'est pratique, hein, qui a commencé avec deux frangins, Marcus et Mordred. Alors je sais pas en quelle année ça a commencé. Coucou Fritz. La malédiction des Gordon en fait que celui qui est atteint de la malédiction tue des gens dans son sommeil. Enfin, il est somnambule en gros et il change de personnalité et il va buter des gens. Et puis il se réveille le lendemain. Et puis bah... un peu comme un loup-garou si vous voulez. Voilà. Donc, à la fin de Black Mirror 1, Samuel se rend compte que, tout comme son grand-père, il a buté des gens. Il peut pas le supporter. Et il se suicide de la même façon. Il saute du haut du donjon du Black Mirror et s'empale sur des pics en bas. Voilà. Alors, à savoir aussi que dans le 1, on voit un incendie dans le Black Mirror avec un gamin qui est... enfin, une nana qui part avec un gamin, en fait. Et ça, c'est jamais vraiment expliqué, en fait. Mais c'est expliqué dans le 2. Donc, Black Mirror 2, jeu sorti en 2009, donc 6 ans après, se passe en 1993. On joue le rôle de Darren Michaels, qui est étudiant, je crois, et qui travaille pendant l'été. Il fait un petit job d'étudiant dans un magasin de photographie à Biddeford, dans le Maine, aux États-Unis. Donc, a priori, Darren Michaels n'a pas le même nom, et il n'a pas de liaison avec, enfin, aucun lien, je veux dire, avec la famille des Gordon. Sauf que, de fil en aiguille, il se rend compte, en rencontrant une nana qui s'appelle Angelina Morgan, pardon, qui essaye d'enquêter sur son passé, sur le passé de Darren. Et Darren ne comprend pas pourquoi est-ce que cette nana-là, elle veut enquêter sur... Il était amoureux aussi au début, enfin bref. Pourquoi est-ce qu'elle veut enquêter sur son passé? Et en fait, parce que Angelina, elle sait que Darren est lié à la famille Gordon. Alors, comment il est lié? Ben, en fait, c'est simple. Sa mère, Rebecca Michaels, était en fait une femme de ménage ou au service de la famille des Gordon, et c'est elle qui s'est barrée avec un bébé, quand le château était en feu, et le bébé, c'était le fils de Samuel Gordon, donc qui s'est suicidé dans le 1, et qui n'est autre que Darren Michaels, en fait. Donc, Rebecca Michaels a donné donc son nom à Darren, et elle a élevé ce bébé comme si c'était son fils, alors qu'en fait, eh bien, c'était donc le fils de Samuel. À savoir aussi que Angelina enquêtait sur Darren. Pourquoi? Parce que Angelina est la sœur. Il y avait 2 enfants, en fait. La sœur de Darren. Donc, en fait, on a Angelina Morgan, qui est en fait Angelina Gordon, et Darren Michaels, qui est en fait Darren Gordon. Voilà. À la fin de Black Mirror 2, Angelina, je crois que c'est la mère, si je me rappelle bien, la mère de Darren, donc Rebecca, donc la femme de ménage, là, Angelina était prise de la malédiction. Apparemment, c'est elle qui en a hérité et pas Darren. Et Rebecca, la mère, se suicide avec Angelina pour éviter que Darren soit blessé. Et c'est Santa Barbara. Hein. Et dans l'affaire, Darren se coupe et il y a du sang qui part sur le livre qui a servi à la malédiction en fait à l'origine. Et une fois quand les gouttes de sang tombent sur le livre, il y a plein d'écrits qui arrivent, il y a une musique de ouf et puis Darren comprend qu'en fait, maintenant, il est atteint de la malédiction. Et puis il se met à chialer, enfin à crier. Enfin, il est pas content. Voilà. Vous avez tout le résumé du 1 et du 2. Et si jamais vous n'avez pas compris, eh ben, clippez-le et regardez après. Black Mirror 3, donc, que nous allons faire maintenant, est sorti en 2011, donc 2 ans après le 2. Coucou Tic Tac Dring et coucou Horus. Bienvenue, bienvenue. Le livre avec le sang qu'on retrouve dans Myst. Ah, ce bordel, t'as raison, viens, t'as raison. Voilà. À savoir, donc c'est a priori le dernier de la série, à savoir qu'il y a un reboot qui est sorti en 2017, qui est pas top, qu'on fera peut-être un jour. Et voilà. Et, je vais le dire une fois, aucun rapport avec la série Black Mirror. Voilà. Arcanum est fini? Non, Arcanum c'est le dimanche. Merci Avia. Allez, on va commencer. Je vais juste regarder ce qu'il y a en extra, je sais pas. Ah oui, c'est les... Ok, images, vidéo, mini-jeu. Ok, d'accord. J'étais très très curieux. Alors le jeu n'est pas en 16 neuvième. Bon, j'ai pas pu changer plus que ça. Tout comme le 2, en fait, il y a des bandes noires. Donc voilà. Et puis non, Tic Tac Ring, Arcanum, on en est même pas au quart du jeu à mon avis là. Hein. Donc on en a encore. Il sera, à mon avis, il sera fini peut-être à la fin de l'été si on a de la chance. Allez. C'est parti. Donc c'est lui, Darren Michaels.
Hey, you there. What are you doing?
Help me, I'm being chased. They're after me, they're gonna kill me. The Order, the Academy has collapsed. My sister and my mother are dead.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
That's just what I was going to say. That's the bloke we've been looking for. That's the Yang.
What?
Les
Well,
2 secondes.
what a coincidence.
Putain, je peux
Mr.
pas passer.
Michaels. I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Miss Amanda
La
Bauer.
voix est pas assez forte.
Calling for arson, too.
What? No.
Take him away, Constable.
J'espère que je pourrai...
Inspector, I think I found her.
12 heures avant l'arrestation.
Damn. Calling the lads. There's nothing more we can do here.
She didn't set
Why
herself.
not? Perhaps she was cold and set herself on fire. For God's sake, she was murdered. Am I the only one round here with half a brain? Anyway, we are not going to find any more clues. It's been raining all night. You stay here and wait for the cavalry. I'll go down to the village and ask some questions.
Bit early for a beer, isn't it, Inspector?
I'm here on official business, Tom.
It wasn't me, honest. Me brother Bobby's me witness.
Do you know Amanda Valley?
Yes, unfortunately. I still owe her money.
Well, hold on to it.
Buy her a wreath. Heck, why? Is she dead?
You could say that. Burned. Probably last night between 6 p.m. and midnight. Where were you at that time?
Hey, Inspector, you know I wouldn't kill anyone. Especially not over a few quid. I was out with Bobby at a theme park, Alton Towers. Got home pretty late, went straight to bed.
So, do you know if Miss Valley had any enemies?
Apart from the Gordons,
The Gordons.
her brother was caught by that Samuel chap. I guess that was before your time. Since then, she's absolutely hated that family. Have you seen her flat? It's bloody mad, I tell you.
Any other tips?
Have you seen that Yank that's been sneaking around here recently? I'd check him out if I were you. He's the one with the blood in his hands. He was chatting with Amanda Valley in front of the pub a few days ago. He asked me about a tackle for robbing houses. No idea why he came to me, but it sounded pretty suspicious.
6 heures avant l'arrestation. Mon intro est longue, je crois.
Holy. She really hadn't gotten over it. What have we got here? Interesting. Darren Michaels, Bedford, Maine, last week. I'll bet anyone 10 quid that's the Yank Tom was talking about.
Inspector! Inspector, the castle's on fire!
Oh, great. As if a burnt corpse wasn't enough. Come on.
Just listen to what I've got to say first. You can't just...
Come on, get the car.
Caught with a flaming torch next to a burning cask. If this isn't my ticket out of this dumping, God only knows.
Chapitre 1. 3 semaines plus tard.
So, you fell in love with this woman.
Angelina.
Fell in love with Angelina without knowing she was your sister. She lured you to England, to Black Mirror Castle, the castle of your ancestors, to use you as a key for an old ritual. That's right, isn't it? Do me a favor and put the lighter down, all right? You said it had something to do with a curse, Adrian.
You tell me. All I know is that I drizzled blood on a book and read out incomprehensible words. And then bang, black all around me. And the next thing I can remember, there were sounds in the woods behind me getting nearer. All in all, a grade A nightmare. The ritual probably worked, and now I'm possessed by a centuries-old evil soul that wants to bend my mortal body to its purpose.
You believe you're carrying a second soul. Oh, Adrian, I know that feeling well. But believe me, no one is cursed. Children always believe they're to blame for grown-up suffering. These feelings of guilt have branded themselves into your soul. So, how was it for you to meet your biological mother after all these years? You said you didn't have much time to talk to her.
No, she was taken hostage by Angelina. They both died shortly afterwards. They fell into the abyss in the ritual chamber.
In the ritual chamber. Exactly. And your foster mother in America. Did you have a chance to talk to her about it?
C'est bien, il fait un petit
No,
résumé.
she was in a coma, and then she died.
All right, then. Perhaps we should forget about the women in your family for the time being and turn to more happy matters. Let's talk about your father. Wait a minute, Constable. We're not finished yet.
Perhaps we can leave that till tomorrow.
As you wish.
I don't mean to interrupt, but the inspector has something important he needs to talk with Mr. Michaels about. And you know what the inspector's like. It's about the bail.
Is it still not high enough for him? There's no one who would spend a penny on me anyway.
Don't say that.
All right, Doc. Have you got a spare 5,000 pounds?
Yes. Well, I can't do that, Adrian. I'm your doctor.
Mr. Michaels, come along now, please.
If there's anything you want to talk about, Adrian, I'm here most of the time. And Zach, tell the inspector he should keep to the arranged times. I don't burst in when he's in the middle of an interrogation.
Yes, Mum, I'll tell him.
So how's your abused little arsonist soul? Stroke better by the nice doctor? I hope you see the burning faces of the 4 poor souls you have on your conscience every single night.
Thanks for asking.
You know what? I'm starting to run out of patience with you. If I could, I'd have you deported. Your fellow countrymen should be made to endure your fairy tales. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
If you'd led a decent investigation, then you'd have found evidence for my fairy tales a good while back.
And now the little thug wants to tell me how to do my job. Constable Zach was down in the sewers for 2 days, and what did he find? Nothing. And Miss Valley's also a mysterious order. Nonsense. No one here has even heard of it.
They had an assembly chamber in the mine. And Victoria knows about it too.
Assembly chamber? Don't make me laugh. Miss Valley gave lectures on the cursed Gordon clan in there. And the old biddy hasn't spoken since the fire.
Gordon clan? Old Biddy? Stop talking about my family like that.
Your family? Yeah, well, you'd actually fit in with those loonies.
Whatever. Can I go back to my cell now?
Unfortunately, I have to throw you out of your little paradise. Someone's paid your bail.
What did you say? Who?
Doesn't seem to be a friend of yours. Wanted to stay anonymous. Well, whatever. Get your things and get out of here. But don't go too far. Otherwise, I'll have to put you on the naughty list. That would be pretty much the most stupid thing that could happen to you.
I can well believe it.
All the better. So be a good boy and go collect your things from your apartment.
Oh là là! Coucou Lumi, coucou Kashka, bienvenue. Paf. Alors attendez 2 secondes. Ouais, c'est assez petit, j'avoue. Même ça, c'est encore pire. Ça, ce système d'aide vous fournit quelques informations sur les commandes au début du jeu. Si vous... Ah, j'ai pas eu le temps de lire. Ok. Tac. On va voir si on peut pas augmenter la taille des... Non. Volume de l'environnement, j'ai déjà mis la voix au max. Les effets sonores aussi, on va les baisser. Ça comme ça, la musique un petit peu plus bas. Tac. Non, j'ai pas l'impression qu'il y ait... Des paysages, des anticrinages... Désolé, ce sera cette taille-là de sous-titres, malheureusement. J'ai pas suivi grand-chose, mais je suis d'accord. C'est quoi la malédiction? Je sais pas si c'est un troll ou pas, Horus, mais très rapidement, la malédiction des Gordon, c'est que il tue des gens sans le savoir, en fait. En gros, comme si un démon prenait possession d'eux, et quand ils sont en train de dormir, et va tuer des gens. Et puis, en fait, ils se rappellent de rien après. Voilà. Sinon, il faut réduire la résolution. C'était comme ça, fut un temps. L'interface est diminuée quand la résolution augmente. T'as vraiment pas compris, ok. Donc voilà. Ok, bah non. Non, c'est très bien comme ça, Jimlao. Je trouve. Sinon, après, ça va me foirer toute ma scène et tout. Ça va être chiant. Alors, c'est un point and click comme les autres. C'est ça qui est bien. Où est-ce qu'est l'inventaire? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Ok, on peut sauvegarder. Ok. Je m'en fous pour l'instant. Si, on va sauvegarder, tiens. Il y a une sauvegarde automatique, mais mon nouvelle entrée. Sauvegarder. Début. Ah, on va pas faire de... Ok. Pas de caractères spéciaux. Ok, ça marche. À l'inspecteur Spooner, qui est irlandais du Nord, avec son accent de ouf. Là, il n'y a rien. Là, il y a l'inventaire en bas. Ok. Je me demandais s'il n'y avait pas un carnet. Mais visiblement, non. Alors, j'ai désactivé les indices et les trucs qui permettent de voir tous les points d'intérêt, comme d'habitude. Centre de commande vers la plage du village. Photocopie. Alors, c'est quoi? C'est clic droit pour regarder? Non. Clic gauche.
A photocopier. Looks really modern compared to the rest of the furniture.
Je vais encore baisser la zik en fait. Les voix sont vraiment beaucoup plus fortes. C'est comme ça. Tac. Voilà. Ok, un ventilateur.
Yeah, that's probably just decoration, considering the weather here. That's Chief Inspector Spooner, the man that made the last 3 weeks of my life a living hell. A real ray of sunshine. Do you have a moment, Inspector?
You're quick.
Oh, ok, on va lui parler après.
That's all for now.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Keeping my eye on you. Des dossiers.
The police archive. There aren't very many files, but lots of them are labeled Gordon.
Donc faudra que je fasse attention parce que on regarde d'abord l'objet et après peut-être qu'on peut le toucher en fait.
A photocopier.
Parce qu'on peut pas changer de verbe ou d'action. Non. Avec clic droit. Molette. Clic du milieu, non. En fait, Baldur's Gate 3, tu le conseilles même en solo ou vaut mieux y jouer en coop? Alors, j'y ai pas joué en solo, donc je pourrais pas vraiment être à 100% sûr, mais de ce que j'ai vu, ouais. Ouais. À partir du moment, en fait, c'est simple. Pour moi, c'est le meilleur CRPG qui est sorti depuis Baldur's Gate 1, en fait. Enfin, 2, en l'occurrence. Non, il est depuis Pillars of Eternity, parce que Pillars of Eternity, il est très très bien. Si tu aimes Baldur's Gate, Pillars of Eternity en solo, tu vas aimer Baldur's Gate 3 même en solo. Je suis quasi sûr. À mon avis, c'est mieux en coop, mais il est toujours Game of the Year en solo, je pense. Mais faut aimer le style. Hein. Si t'aimes pas le style, c'est différent. Ok, là y a rien. Ah, des clés.
I guess those are the keys to the cells. Apart from the fact that everyone here would notice if I took them, my cell is open.
Ok.
Constable Zach seems okay. Plays by the letter of the law and all that.
Ah, ok, tout ça c'est pour lui parler, d'accord. Intéressant.
The emergency call center. As you can see, it's manned around the clock.
Ok.
I'd prefer some coffee. As far as I know, there's no evidence room here. Collected evidence is kept in these lockers. They're always locked.
Beaucoup les JDR, non, je suis pas contre, mais je sais pas si en solo ça me conviendrait vraiment. Est-ce que t'as joué à Pillars of Eternity? Ou à Baldur's Gate 1 ou 2? Vers les cellules, ok. On va leur parler avant quand même. Je crois qu'on a tout regardé. Ah non, café.
Cold coffee.
Ok. C'est l'inspecteur toujours, ok. Ok.
Do you have a
le
moment,
call-
Inspector?
If you're quick.
Non, malheureusement, ok. Est-ce que tu as joué à Fallout? Est-ce que tu as joué. Quel est le RPG qui se rapprocherait plus de ça, selon toi?
Why do you dislike me?
I'm a cop. You're a criminal.
Come on.
Ah oui,
A little
alors.
bit of friendliness never hurt anyone.
Miss Valley was friendly.
Je vais me
It
foutre là.
wasn't me. How many times do I have to tell you?
Je vais me mettre là. Vous verrez au moins le début de l'inventaire et des actions, enfin des sujets de discussion. Et c'est un peu Baldur's Gate 2, mais je me mourrais constamment, du coup j'ai décidé de lire le roman à la place. Ah, il y a un roman, putain. Ok. Comment ça va, Serania? Dr Winterbottom, c'est c'est le nom de son psy, Winterbottom. Ça veut littéralement dire le cul de l'hiver, enfin le derrière de l'hiver, pour ceux qui comprennent pas l'anglais. Tu peux mettre un doigt dans le nez du policier? Un doigt? J'ai pas... Non.
My doctor, Winterbottom.
Ah.
She been living in Willow Creek
Moi.
for long?
She moved here 10, 12 years ago.
Why? Because of the murders?
Ask her yourself.
Coucou Tanior. Baldur's Gate 1, 2, Shadow of War, mettez des romans, des jeux. Ah d'accord, ok, je savais pas. Oui, je suis bête. Non, mais j'ai juste pas capté sur le coup.
What was it that brought you here?
I don't know what that's got to do with you.
Ok.
What about your partner? He seems really busy.
Zach. He's not my partner, he's my constable. And yes, he's got lots to do, so don't disturb him.
Alors Darren Michaels, il a un accent de Nouvelle-Angleterre en fait. Enfin, je trouve que c'est un accent un peu particulier, mais il est léger quand même. Puisque c'est un Américain, il vient du Maine. Caution.
And you really don't know who paid my bail?
It's paid to the court, not to me. I just got a letter from them saying I should let you go.
Ah, donc si ça se trouve, c'est juste là. Ok, il n'y a peut-être pas eu de caution de payer, mais c'est le tribunal qui a dit qu'il fallait me libérer. Fallout 4, j'y ai joué, mais pas le 1. En style combat, le plus proche que j'ai fait, c'est XCOM, sinon c'est de la découverte. D'accord. Ok. Ouais, c'est délicat. Enfin, pour moi, c'est une valeur sûre. Maintenant, je peux pas en mettre ma main au feu, voilà, que t'aimerais ça. Faut aimer aussi, faut que tu mettes une minimum 100 heures de jeu de ta vie dedans. Hein. Fallout 4, ouais, aucun rapport pour le 4, puisque c'est pas du tout le même gameplay. Je pense qu'il vaut mieux de la coop. Franchement, je ne pourrais pas le faire en coop, je le ferais solo, hein, sans hésiter. Mais je suis fan du style aussi, donc bon. Willow Creek, donc ça c'est le village où il y a le manoir, enfin qui est près du manoir des Gordon.
This here village, Willow Creek. Are there many criminals here?
Only since you turned up.
Does that mean it was quieter before? Not even a little bit of shoplifting?
Just normal village life. Punch-ups, rape, and drink driving.
So pretty much nothing happening. Have you found out anything about my ancestry?
Yep, I've got a copy of Darren Michaels' birth certificate here. Born on the 27th of February 1970 in Boston, Massachusetts.
And what about Adrian Gordon?
He's still dead, in the Gordon crypt. That's what it says in the death certificate signed by Dr. Heinz Herman. Cause of death, 5th degree burns.
5th degree? In other words, only his ashes are left. How convenient. That's all for now.
Je sais pas que ça existait le
Keeping
5ème
my eye on
degré.
you.
Brûlure au 5ème degré, oui, descendre, ok. Si tu veux commencer dans le style, tu penses à quel jeu? J'aime bien le GDR, donc il y a pas mal de possibilités que ça passe bien. Commencer dans le style CRPG, Baldur 3 est pour moi le meilleur. Il a des facilités d'utilisation en plus, des trucs de qualité de vie qui sont assez fantastiques comparés à du Baldur 1, 2 ou du Fallout, ou même du Pillars of Eternity en fait. Ne serait-ce que par exemple, un truc que moi j'adore, c'est que tu peux sélectionner plusieurs objets en même temps pour les glisser dans l'inventaire de quelqu'un. Alors que dans la plupart des jeux, tu es obligé de faire un objet par un objet. Donc non. Pour moi, Baldur's Gate 3, c'était tout ce qu'il fallait bien faire. En fait, l'Ariane Studio, quand ils ont décidé de faire Baldur 3, ils se sont basés sur Divinity 1 et 2, pour le style, mais ils ont réussi à adapter ça au style de Baldur, et franchement, ils ont fait carton plein. Pour moi, c'est un des meilleurs jeux des 10 dernières années, hein, je plaisante pas, quoi. Je vais développer beaucoup moins compliqué, là. Il me semble que le 3 il est axé sur la 5ème édition de D&D. Ah bah ça, oui, c'est sur la... c'est sur la... Je crois que c'est une des dernières. Moi, je suis pas fan des règles de D&D de base, mais... Surtout pour les magos. Ça m'énerve. Ok, on n'a pas parlé à lui. Alors, est-ce que tu te concentres un peu plus sur le jeu?
Can I disturb you for a minute?
No?
Ok. Encore?
Constable Zach seems okay. Plays by the letter of the law and all that. Unfortunately, Spooner isn't letting me talk to him.
Ok. Bon, allez, on bouge. Donc on doit aller de récupérer nos affaires qui sont dans la cellule. La barre d'espace vous permet de visualiser tous les endroits interactifs d'un lieu donné. Je crois que je l'ai désactivé, je vérifie. Ah, il est désactivé, voilà, c'est nickel. C'est ça que je voulais. Ok, Matt. Ok. On va regarder déjà.
The wash basin, also known as the spare toilet.
J'imagine que c'était notre cellule. Une fois que vous avez obtenu toutes les informations sur certains points du jeu, vous ne pouvez plus interagir avec. Ouais, on a vu. Ça, c'est... Je trouve ça pas mal parce qu'au moins, comme ça, on est sûr qu'on n'a rien loupé, en fait.
The top bunk hasn't been occupied since I've been here. There are people in the adjacent cell sometimes, though. I've slept on this pillow in this damn uncomfortable bed for the last 3 weeks. It doesn't smell as bad as it did at first. Crumbling tiles. Why should the floor look any better than the rest?
j'ai du mal avec les lancers de dés, là, tellement poissard, je fais souvent des doubles 1. Ouais, mais je pense que Baldur, il triche un peu, en fait, avec le lancer de dés pour pas frustrer forcément tout le temps. Mais bon, de toute façon, t'as pas de formule du hasard, donc j'ai du mal avec les... D20, ça ne correspond pas à tout le monde. J'ai un pote qui crée son GDR, il vient de passer des... C'est pas une histoire de dés ce qui m'embête, c'est pour les magos, c'est juste qu'il n'y a pas de mana, en fait, dans ce genre de règles. Et qu'une fois que tu as épuisé tous tes sorts, eh ben, il faut que tu dormes. Donc, et ça, je suis pas... tu vois, je sais pas. Je trouve ça un peu... comment dire, contre-intuitif de dire « Ah, on fait un combat, on va se pioter, on fait un combat, on va se pioter, on va... » Alors, réaliste peut-être, mais j'aime pas le principe. Après, c'est une question d'opinion aussi, hein. C'est ma préférence, quoi. On est le même perso que le 2, hein. Darren Michaels, qui est aussi le fils de... le dernier descendant des Gordon, en fait.
The road to freedom? More like the little turd's road to his big brother.
Coucou Tixias. Je vois mon pote, c'est de la mana d'ailleurs. Ouais. Même le jeu des petits chevaux commençait avec un double 6 chez une partie, j'ai jamais commencé. Lol.
Would be nice if it worked. My reading material for the past 3 weeks.
Mais où est-ce qu'il va trouver
Intellectual outpourings of my frustrated predecessors.
Il y a un casier, ok.
A garbage dump would be more sterile than these toilets.
Ok.
Ah, sweet bird of freedom. I'm coming.
Il est libre, Max. Casier.
Only the Willow Creek police know why there's only one locker for a 2-man cell.
Un crayon.
Pencil. Oh, but where's my diary?
Ah. Pour regarder et utiliser les objets de votre inventaire, faites un clic droit dessus.
One of the few things I was allowed to take with me into my cell.
C'est bizarre qu'il ait eu le droit de prendre un crayon.
The locker was open and my diary isn't inside. Damn.
Oh. Je tousse. Comment ça va, Tixias? Ouais, c'est une suite directe. Non, c'est pas une nouvelle histoire. C'est une trilogie, le 1, 2, 3. Après, il y a un reboot de 2017, mais je sais pas exactement à quoi il correspond. Coucou Oxley, non, je t'avais pas vu. Enfin, je t'avais vu, puis j'ai zappé. À force de tousser, désolé. Comment ça va, Oxley? Bah ça va, Tixias, à part que... je ne sais pas, j'ai un chat dans la gorge, visiblement. Ok, donc on sait pas où est notre carnet. Il avait que ça, un crayon et un carnet?
My friendly fellow inmate, Matt Newcastle. One of those kind of people that my mother always warned me about.
Matt, file-moi mon carnet de dessin ou de...
Have you seen my diary?
Mon journal.
Your diary? And here's me thinking it belonged to some nutter. I don't know what happened to me in the ritual chamber. What went wrong?
How did you get into my locker? Stop that. Constable!
Or
Police.
worse, what if nothing went wrong? What if Mordred has been freed and has taken possession of me and is making me do his bidding?
Quel enfoiré.
Please, somebody help me. Stop me from becoming a murderer.
Give that here, bastard!
I don't want to be Mordred's puppet. I want this fiend to disappear.
Le
Back
bully.
to the hell he crawled out of.
I'll have you. I'll kill you.
Boo-hoo-hoo! I don't want to be a murderer. Boo-hoo! Don't make me crap myself. I'm so scared.
Wow.
Hey, what's wrong with you? Hey, Scarface! Oh, forget it, you nutter.
Ok, donc il l'a rêvé ou il... Ouais, il l'a rêvé, je crois. Hein.
I don't know what's going on with me just now, but I'd rather just keep my distance from that guy.
Ça va, cool, Oxley. Ok, alors on a des pages de journal.
That moron Matt ripped up my diary. These are the only pages I could save. Most of them are empty.
Ok. Est-ce qu'on peut... On peut pas...
At the moment, there's nothing I need to write down.
Il veut pas...
That moron Matt. These are the only pages
Ok. Ah, ouvrir le journal, yes. Je me disais bien aussi que c'était une icône qui allait servir.
My diary. These are the only pages I could save.
Ah ouais,
Most of them are empty.
ok, il veut rien dire d'autre. Ça marche. Alors, Matt, il veut plus lui parler, évidemment. Là, rien. Ok. Ben, on se casse, alors. Police.
Can you sign here, please? Just to confirm that you've read the bail conditions and that you've been instructed to register with Dr. Winterbottom every day. This here is a declaration of your state of health at the time of your provisional release.
But there's only good or very good on there.
So, you're not feeling so good then?
No.
Well, don't forget to sign it then. Here's your wallet. I keep the passport.
Ah, on n'a pas le droit de voyager, ok.
And you need to sign here that you got your things back.
You promise with all this signing you haven't secretly slipped a confession in there too?
That's not permitted.
Ah, so I'm in luck then. Just a minute, I was being a bit premature. There's $500,000 missing.
You should have checked for that before signing for it. Any subsequent complaints have to be addressed to our regional HQ in Bristol.
All right, just a joke. Is that it then?
Yes, you're free to go now, Mr. Michaels.
Amen.
Mr. Michaels?
Something else to sign?
No. I just wanted to inform you that your solicitor is assuming you're going to call him soon. Here's his card.
Est-ce que je peux l'appeler d'ici?
Got it. Catch you later, Constable. Free at last. Well, relatively.
Cool, c'est le même...
At least I can now prove my innocence by my own means. Now, let's see what my lawyer wants from me.
Ils ont gardé le même village, c'est tant mieux. Pour téléphoner à quelqu'un, utiliser sa carte de visite sur un téléphone dans une cabine téléphonique, ok. Boîte aux
A
lettres.
letterbox. Nothing special.
Il y avait un téléphone dedans. Ah non. Est-ce qu'on peut leur reparler? Histoire d'être sûr
Do you
qu'on
have a
est pas...
moment, Inspector?
That'd be quick.
Ah, tiens. Cet enfoiré
The guy
de...
in the other cell.
Is a paragon of virtue.
What did he do?
He beat up annoying little Americans. Should I let him out?
Ah,
All right. That's all for now.
ok.
I'm keeping my eye on you.
Ouais.
Can I disturb you for a
No.
minute?
Ok. Allez. Donc, baril. White.
A barrel. It says Willow Creek Corner Shop on it.
Épicerie fine.
Fresh vegetables. A very paltry selection. I prefer the frozen variety.
Ok, stand de foire. Donc c'est ouais, c'est les mêmes. C'est la même. J'ai l'impression que c'est la même structure de village. Ça c'est cool.
An access point to the sewer system.
Oh là là.
Brings back memories that I'd
Oh là là.
rather forget.
Oh, Tanner, merci. Ça fait plaisir. Un barillet. Un barillet. C'est pour c'est ce qu'il y a sur les pistolets, c'est ça, viens. Ah, c'est drôle. Comment ça va, Tanner? Merci de m'avoir invoqué. Ça faisait longtemps. Ça faisait longtemps ou pas? Ça faisait... depuis mardi, je crois. Je sais plus. Oh là là. J'ai failli m'étrangler avec le thé d'Elkino. Je suis pas habitué à boire du thé, moi. Ah bah oui, et ma bouche, elle se ferme pas, donc c'est pas pratique. Voilà. Barillet.
Oui, c'est ça, ok, c'est un baril et 2 pistolets, d'accord. Ok. Bien. L'épicerie finie à quoi d'autre après? Par là. Un café, on peut rentrer dans le café. Oui, on pourrait. Où ça?
Sorry remains of a sorry annual fair. I don't think there's anything useful here.
Ok. Table, planche, une planche, on peut la prendre. C'est une planche, c'est une planche à quoi? On dirait une planche à découper.
A piece of thin board. Ah, it's a menu. They probably don't need it anymore.
Bah non, un restaurant a des menus.
A narrow, thin board. I found it amongst the remains of the fair.
Ah oui, d'accord, c'est un truc désaffecté en fait, ok. Ok.
You could sit and eat here. There's nothing to buy anymore, though.
Putain, mais c'est ouf, la Zik, elle est extrêmement forte. Elle est bien, mais... Voilà. Ok. Donc il y a des tout petits trucs, il va falloir faire attention. Hein. Oh là là. Des déchets.
Just a pile of junk.
Ok.
No idea what the river's called.
Je sais plus si on le savait. Dans le 1, je crois qu'on savait le nom de la rivière. C'est un nom gaélique, je pense. Cabine téléphonique. Eh ben, écoutez, je pense que c'est le premier truc à faire. Hein. Allez. On va rentrer dans les magasins. Logiquement. Oh, une roue.
A huge cartwheel. Thankfully, the age when people were racked up on them has long passed. A rainwater butt. There are lots of them around. You know, just in case Willow Creek suffers a drought.
Lol. Oh, petite carte.
A fortune teller's business card. Madame Fortuna. You'll see your future. And her phone number.
Ouais, je sais pas si on va aller se faire... ok. Donc ça.
My lawyer's business card. Would never have thought I'd need one of those.
Hop. Est-ce qu'il faut l'appeler apparemment?
Mr. Jones from the law firm Jones and Partners.
Hello, Mr. Jones. Darren Michaels here. I was told you wanted to speak to me?
Ah, Mr. Michaels, yes. The investigations are stagnating, rather. As long as there's no evidence for the allegations brought against you, you can't be charged. So that's good. On the other hand, your fellow countrymen want to step into the ring, too. The American embassy is on our backs. That's not so good.
And what does that mean, exactly?
Well, that you're going to have to sit tight in Willow Creek for quite a while. Inspector Spooner's investigation methods. You implied the last time that you weren't too happy with them?
Yes. It seems to me that Spooner isn't really bothered anymore.
Inspector Spooner just wanted to produce a guilty party and then get the case closed as soon as he could. He has to produce results so that he can get back to London. But he's rather used up all his ammo. Now he's hoping that the embassy will take the case off him so that he doesn't have to chalk it up as a failure.
So he doesn't really seem to be interested in the truth.
Well, the truth, Mr. Michaels, as is generally known, is the invention of a liar. But the fact you've got bail is a good sign. And that someone's been found to pay for it is even better. Perhaps you should have a look yourself, now that you've been released, for some clues or slip-ups in the investigation. Would be best if you could get a copy of your files.
Ok. Donc, bah, va falloir qu'on enquête sur notre propre cas, d'accord? Et qu'on trouve le dossier.
You said I should have another look at my file. Is it really so easy to do that?
Well, it depends on the inspector in charge. But if you flatter him a little, he might let you have a look. Otherwise, I could request a copy and send it on to you.
That's gonna take too long. I'll try to get my hands on it myself.
Ok. La caution, c'est lui qui l'a payé?
This somebody who you maintain means well has paid the bail anonymously. Can you find out who it was?
No problem. But it'll take a couple of days.
Ouais, je suis curieux. Ok.
Are you convinced that I'm innocent, Mr. Jones?
Of course, Mr. Michaels. Do you think I could represent you if I wasn't? Nevertheless, we should hurry up and find some solid evidence to prove it.
La Phone Booth, en quelle année ce jeu se déroule? C'est une bonne question. Le premier se passait en 81, le deuxième en 93, donc on doit être toujours en 93, il a pas trop vieilli. Voilà, début, milieu des années 90. Et on est je sais pas si c'est en Irlande du Nord, vu l'accent du flic, je pense qu'on est en Irlande du Nord. Mais bon, ça veut pas dire, mais... En
How long
Angleterre,
do I have to put up
Royaume-Uni en
with
tout
this
cas.
psychotherapy?
You're gonna have to hang in there for a few more rounds at least. It's in your best interest.
The last assessment was rejected. What good can it do?
Forget about the authorities. Have you ever thought that you might actually need therapy?
Do you think I'm crazy?
Aren't we all? But seriously, Mr. Michaels, try and do something about your mental condition. If you end up having to face a lawsuit in the States, your family's mental history isn't going to impress the jury one bit. So stop blocking shots and come out from behind your guard, man.
Famille Gordon. Quelque part en
Mr.
Angleterre.
Jones, did you find out anything about my identity? The police here don't seem to be putting any effort into it.
Yes. Concerning your identity, Mr. Michaels, it's hard to prove anything at the moment. Find documents, birth certificates, that kind of thing. But don't forget to go to your therapy sessions.
Whatever. I'll be in touch.
Keep your head up. Attack is the best form of defense.
Ok. En 93, ok, merci d'avoir check. C'est logique puisque le 2 se passe en 93 et il a toujours pas changé de fringue depuis qu'il est arrivé ici. Donc c'est vraiment la suite directe chronologiquement. Ok, tiens, on va quand même le appeler la diseuse de bonne aventure. Je suis curieux. Puis on a un téléphone.
Hello?
Welcome to Madame Fortuna's.
Yeah, hi. My name's Adrian.
Stop. Speak no more, Adrian. I know why you're calling.
Oh, really?
You want to find out about your future.
Yes.
Adrian, you've come to the right place. I will read your cards for today. Pick a card.
Over the phone.
Say stop.
Stop.
I've drawn the tower.
And I've put the pawn on A3.
Oh, qu'il est con.
Tarot, Adrian, not chess. There will be drastic changes to your life. And I see death.
Great.
You will be ripped apart by wild beasts.
Wild beasts.
Youpi.
Huh.
But Adrian, there is something you can do about it.
Really? What then?
Stay away from beasts.
Yeah. Thanks.
C'était gratuit en même temps, on va pas se plaindre. Hein.
What a load of crap.
Quelle arnaque. Mais c'est pas de l'arnaque, c'était gratos. Alors, il y en a peut-être qui se demandent, mais alors, je croyais qu'il s'appelait Darren. Pourquoi est-ce qu'il l'appelle Adrian? Pourquoi est-ce qu'il a dit qu'il s'appelait Adrian? En fait, je crois qu'Adrian, c'est son nom de naissance, en fait. Adrian Gordon. Donc, fils de Samuel. Darren Michaels étant le nom donné par sa mère adoptive. Et on apprend dans le 2 que c'était plus sa mère adoptive. Enfin, que c'était sa mère adoptive uniquement, que c'était pas sa vraie mère. Ok. Donc on a d'autres endroits. On va ici. Bon, allez. On va explorer ça déjà. On va aller là. Ah, j'ai fait ça d'avant, heureusement, parce que c'est la suite. Ouais, tout à fait, Oxley.
What's her problem?
C'est une bonne question. J'ai fait un petit résumé au début au début de la session aujourd'hui, Oxley, t'étais pas là malheureusement, mais si jamais tu pourras réécouter après. Parce qu'il s'est passé des choses dans les deux premiers. Alors, plein de trucs.
It's the news on a news channel. I assume it's gonna be like that all day. Maybe they show documentaries about heavy trucks or aircraft carriers in between the bulletins. But I'm not interested.
De là,
That's a Transylvanian-sized portion of garlic. You can assume the shop won't be attacked by vampires.
Il y a plein de trucs avec lesquels interagir,
No.
j'adore.
All the most important newspapers are there. The Final Times, The Moon, Daily Black Mirror, and the Willow Creek Telegraph. The latest prices of apples, bread, and milk are written on this big board. Instant porridge, soup in packets, and masses of powdered pudding. The infamous English cuisine at a glance.
C'est vrai en plus.
Huge eggs from huge chickens. I don't know why, but I find that funny.
Ouais, je sais pas non plus pourquoi.
A random selection. There's everything from romantic novels to Zen guidebooks.
Okay.
Tea.
T.
And, oh, look. Tea.
Tata.
This open bag of coffee beans makes the shop smell real nice. That'll have gherkins in it.
Gherkins.
A shopping basket. I don't need it, I'm only having a look around.
Si il appelle ça des gherkins, ça veut dire que c'est un Britannique. Non, les Anglais ils disent pickles. Les Américains, pardon.
I hope you only want to cut up veggies with that. Sir?
Il s'est rien passé, voyons.
Some very nice knives. Some very nice knives.
Ok. Il le faisait... D'habitude, ils le font pas en plein jour comme ça. Mais bon.
My mom always used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, one of my moms. A hint of France and Willow Creek. Various smoking products. Tobacco, cigars, stuff for pipes. The inhabitants of Willow Creek seem to really enjoy smoking.
Je pense que la vieille, elle a dû se barrer parce qu'elle doit savoir que je fais partie de la famille Gordon. Et la famille Gordon, qui vient de Black Mirror, donc du manoir Black Mirror, sont pas bonne réputation après avoir... Il y a eu quoi, donc 2 feux, 2 séries de meurtres au travers de l'histoire. La voix de l'acteur fait pas super américain, ouais. Hein. Bah au début je croyais qu'il avait un petit accent de Nouvelle-Angleterre en fait, Serrania. Et puis je sais pas, je suis pas assez calé sur le jeu. Non.
Yeah, that's how I like vegetables. Microwave ready on top of a steak. Ice cream. My favorite flavors. And a good size, too.
Okay.
Wow, a huge fridge. It's the Eco Freezer 100. At least that's what's written on it.
Ok. Rien. Carte.
Walking maps of the area. Indispensable for a suspected murderer out on bail, like myself.
J'avoue, prends-en une.
The shopkeeper's looking at me like I'm a thief. Or worse.
Et donc...
The shopkeeper's look. Candy for kids. Although I haven't seen a single one so far.
J'avoue, on n'a jamais vu de gamin dans Willow Creek. Depuis le début. Abaya, c'est son nom? C'est pas de bol.
A cash register. Brand, Fossil.
Ok, je crois qu'on est bon. Toujours avoir les couteaux. Ok, allez, on lui
That
pose.
must be the shopkeeper with a whistle hung around her neck. She looks a bit nervous. I wonder if that's because of me.
J'écoute suffisamment de stream américain et British podcast pour faire la différence d'accent. Ok. Ouais, non, il est pas britannique. Pour moi, il a pas un accent britannique, mais bon. Allez, pivote. Voilà, c'est
Hello.
GG.
What do you want?
This is a shop, isn't it? Then maybe I want to buy something.
Okay.
I'm Darren, by the way.
I know exactly who you are.
Oh, really? Who am I then?
You're the arsonist who was in the newspaper.
Ah ouais.
I'm not gonna set your shop on fire. Anyway, I'm innocent.
Oh, I'm sure you are. But please, don't stay too long. Otherwise, I will have to call the police.
Yeah, right.
And without a telephone, I'll just use my whistle.
Personnage d'américain, oui, oui. Mais le voice actor était... Ok, je pensais pas, mais ok. C'est fini.
What is this? Willow Creek's main shopping drag?
Oh, we've got everything that people need here. Usually, you can order too, but then it'll be delivered next week, if that's okay with you.
That won't be necessary. I'm just having a look around. The old woman who just ran out. Could it be that she's a little crazy?
Dorothy? Oh no, she's just as crazy as you are. I mean, she's fine. The whistle was her idea.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared of me?
Of course not. I've got my whistle. As soon as anyone comes too close, I blow it. And it's so loud, even the gravedigger in Wormhill can hear it.
Clever, Abaya.
How do you know my name?
C'est ça.
You've got that little badge on.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, your name's quite uncommon, Abaya. Where does it come from?
It's Indian. Don't you like it?
Oh, I do. It sounds very pretty. Does it mean anything?
The fearless one.
I'd like to buy one of these walking maps.
Please take it. You don't need to come to the till. It's on the house.
Oh. Thank you very much. See ya.
I hope not.
Ok, allez, on en prend une donc. J'espère pas. Trop bien. En faisant un clic droit sur votre carte, en appuyant sur la touche M, vous avez accès à une carte des lieux alentours. Ainsi, vous pourrez rejoindre sans détour les endroits déjà visités. Oh, magnifique. C'est vrai que c'est assez petit quand même. Willow Creek. Ok. Allez, cassons-nous. Un accueil chaleureux grave. Hein. Grave. Donc là, c'est le pub, il est là, ouais. Donc là, il y a un café. Il n'y avait pas de café avant ici, il me semble pas. Allez. Est-ce qu'il y a autre chose? Ah oui, tiens, on a autre chose ici.
A barrel. It says Willow Creek Corner Shop on it.
Ah d'accord, c'est juste... ok.
A letterbox.
En plus, ok. Des fleurs pathétiques.
Flower vase or coffee cup?
Mais si.
Probably both.
Non. Si, il y avait un café, mais c'était... Le café, non, je me souviens, il était à Bideford, il n'était pas à Willow Creek. J'ai pas souvenir de ça, ça doit être nouveau. Enfin...
This is the best seat in the house, with a view of the village square. Unbelievably thrilling. You can watch the moss growing between the paving stones.
Ouais, c'est pas une ville pour les jeunes, hein. Enfin un village, pardon.
They look really pathetic, but still better than cheap plastic ones.
voir si elle flippe aussi la meuf là.
Photos of parties here in the cafe. I really didn't think they celebrated anything here in Willow Creek.
J'avoue. Rien, client du café.
Coffee culture is spreading. Mild beans and double roasted. Is Willow Creek ready for this?
C'était marqué client du café, hein. Non, j'ai dû halluciner. J'ai du mal à regarder.
The sugar's empty.
Ok. Carte des boissons. Ça doit être carte des cafés.
Coffee in all its guises, from mocha to Irish coffee. The list of teas is still twice as long, though.
Ok, rien.
Shame. No donuts left. Kinda weird. Lots of the people in the photos have been murdered. Now here's something quite different. It's a nice contrast to the rest of medieval Willow Creek.
Très sympathique. Ok. Denise. Ah, on va continuer à regarder la caisse.
Shame. No
C'est pas la caisse, c'est plutôt la vitrine ou le présentoir. Allez.
At last, a ray of sunshine. I was beginning to think there were only gross-looking guys with alcohol problems living in this dump.
Okay.
Hi, I'm...
I know. I recognize you from the newspaper.
And you're not gonna run away screaming?
I'd have a lot of running to do if I ran away from every weirdo in this dump.
You really like living here, huh? Has anything exciting happened recently?
Apart from the fire at the castle? Wait a minute. Yeah, the espresso machine broke down.
Okay.
Has this cafe been here long? I've never noticed it before.
Ouais, on est d'accord.
We were closed during the fair this year.
Is it even worth having a cafe here in the village?
You'll have to ask my dad. It's his cafe. Why do you ask? Do you want to open one too?
Yeah, sure. Right next door. A Black Mia special cafe with ritual blood cappuccino and latte morbidato.
Good idea. Could have come from Murray.
Not the expression machine, no.
By the way, I'm Darren. Or Adrian Gordon. Take your pick.
I'm Denise, or the one who's got no time for insane arsonists. Take your pick.
Wow. I think I prefer Denise.
All right then, Darren.
So, what's a young woman like you doing in a place like this? Not one for city living?
Hell yeah. I'm just waiting for the right moment.
You mean when the twice-yearly bus to London stops here?
Something like that.
Are you out of donuts?
No, there are some in the storeroom, but they're reserved for the nice inspector.
What?
He buys them here every morning.
C'est abusé, ça.
Of course. And what if I want one too?
Then bake one yourself.
C'est pas cool.
When does the inspector usually come in?
He should have been here to pick up his donuts ages ago. He's probably been delayed by the scum of the earth. Again.
Ah.
Nice
Peut-être que
description.
c'est comme ça qu'on peut
That's
parler à
what
son
Conrad
adjoint.
calls his clientele, not me.
Conrad?
Conrad Spooner. That's what the inspector's called. Didn't you know?
I didn't know that donuts was so popular in England.
I don't know, but I do know that Spooner loves them. Just as much as those cops in American TV shows.
And what does the dear inspector do when there aren't any donuts left?
He always gets what he wants. If need be, I bake him some.
Ok, moi j'ai pas le droit par contre.
I'd like a coffee, black.
Coming up.
Ah, elle se retourne, est-ce que c'est le moment de chourer un truc?
If the inspector needs his donuts every morning, and there weren't any to be had, then he would be sure to be out of his office for a while.
Peut-être qu'il faut aller là.
I think the door leads into the storeroom. At least that's what this sign suggests.
Je suis sûr qu'il y a un truc à faire. Ouais, peut-être qu'il faut aller là-dedans. On va voir. On va prendre le café déjà.
Hello?
Enfin,
Maybe I'll see you later.
on peut pas le prendre le café? J'ai pas le droit de le boire. Non, ok.
Hello?
Peut-être qu'il faut faire ça.
I'll have another coffee, please.
It's on the bar.
It's cold. Can I get a new one?
Sure.
Quel enfoiré!
Okay. I've got to come up with something that's gonna make Spooner hang out here in the cafe for a while.
Faut chourer les donuts.
A shelf full of stock for the cafe. What have we got here? Coffee, tea, juice, milk. Ah, and a package of donuts.
On va sauvegarder aussi. Café. Hop là.
There are things like coffee.
Ils sont où les donuts? Là.
Those have to be the donuts specially reserved for Spooner.
Yeah. On va regarder s'il y a autre chose. Et là, on trouve un cadavre dans le congélateur. No!
A high-performance chest freezer with a glass lid. Not a lot in it. A pack of tart bases. Oh, and a box of ice cream. Mint and chocolate.
Il va la prendre.
The seal is in really bad shape. If it gets wet, you probably wouldn't be able to get the chest open anymore.
Oh, un double clic sur un élément interactif déclenchera immédiatement l'action correspondante. D'accord. Ok, on va regarder s'il n'y a pas autre chose avant. Je pense pas, hein, les rayons.
There are things like
C'est la
coffee.
même chose, ok. Allez.
It's cold enough in here. I'll close the thing again.
Il faut...
Now it's open again.
On va le laisser ouvert en fait. Pour qu'il pète.
I can't just march out of the storeroom with a pack of donuts.
Oh.
I'm only just out on bail. I don't want to end up straight back in the can for shoplifting.
On va le foutre là en fait, je suis con.
I'll put the box of donuts in a nice visible spot in the freezer.
Et on ferme.
We're gonna have frozen donuts here soon. Begging the question, how's that gonna help me?
Bah,
We're gonna have frozen donuts
non.
here soon. Begging the question, how's that gonna help me?
bah, ça va être chiant pour le mec, ils vont devoir les décongeler avant. Non? Je sors. Hein.
I'd better close the freezer so the donuts can get cozy in there.
Bah, c'est ce que j'ai essayé de faire. Mais
This is hardly gonna stop Spooner though. I'm gonna have to make sure that the freezer isn't so easy to open.
c'est quoi ça?
I can't just merrily waltz into the storeroom. The waitress would spot me.
Ok, il faut peut-être un autre objet pour... Ouais, retourner.
Hello?
Je peux avoir un autre café? C'est déjà le
I think I'll
18ème,
have
monsieur,
another
que vous gâchez!
It's on the bar.
It's cold.
Okay.
La pauvre!
Now it's open again.
Ok, c'est peut-être parce que... Donc là, il veut pas vouloir le
We're gonna
fermer.
have frozen donuts here soon.
Je la ventilateur. Est-ce qu'on peut pas le régler plus haut? Non. Il a parlé de la condensation, c'est ça que si tout est gelé, ils ont du mal à l'ouvrir ou un truc comme ça, il me semble. On a pas. Ah, le seau.
A wash bucket filled with, dirty water.
Ok.
A wash bucket.
Oh, il faut peut-être les tremper dans le... Bah non, on peut plus maintenant.
We're gonna have frozen.
Rayon. Non, c'est autre chose. Non, si ça se trouve, il nous manque encore un... Il nous manque un objet à trouver ailleurs, en fait, je pense. Ça serait étonnant aussi qu'on résolve une énigme directe comme ça. Est-ce qu'il nous dit quelque chose de journal? Quelqu'un a payé ma caution, mais je sais pas qui. Je devrais contacter immédiatement mon avocat. Il connaît peut-être l'identité du mystérieux bienfaiteur. Jones m'a appris que l'enquête piétinait faute de nouvelles preuves. J'ai réussi à me procurer une copie du dossier de police et prouver moi-même mon... Ah bon? J'ai réussi à me procurer une copie du dossier de police et éprouver moi-même mon innocence, mais c'est pas vrai. C'est qu'il faut le faire, on l'a pas fait encore. Ok, faut que je fasse gaffe à la trad, hein. Visiblement, c'est je dois me procurer. Bon, on va sortir et puis c'est peut-être un truc à trouver après.
I'd better close.
Ouais, vas-y, ferme.
This is hardly gonna stop Spooner, though. I'm gonna have to make sure that the freezer isn't so easy to open.
Peut-être une clé. Ou alors, est-ce que... Non, reste. Il est obligé de ça. Bon, on va se barrer. Jeu qui s'auto-spoil, j'avoue. Ok, on peut... Je sais pas si on peut aller sur le... Sur le pont, là, visiblement, non. Ok, allons parler aux mamies qui vont flipper, je suis sûr.
They're so absorbed in the conversation that they don't even notice me.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's better that way.
Ouais, j'avoue. Non. Ok, pas eu le choix. Cool.
I'll have time to sit there when I'm old. Is that Tom's underwear hanging out to dry? Nope. Cloths. They aren't particularly clean, but I wouldn't expect anything else from Tom's pub. You know? I'm glad I drank bottled beer last time I was there. The windows have colored plastic stuck on them. It's hard to make out anything.
C'est normal parce que tout ce qui se passe dans le pub reste dans le pub. Oh, un E.
Anyone want to buy an E?
Ah oui, 3 kegs. Carte postale.
Murderous greetings from Willow Creek. The usual postcards and brochures.
On peut en prendre. Ok. On peut partir à gauche. Ok. Une éponge. Ok. Ah bah oui, c'est ça pour le
It
freezer.
looks like it hasn't been used for a very long time.
On met l'éponge dans l'eau
I'm about to
dégueulasse.
change that.
On met l'éponge dans l'eau dégueulasse, à la gorge d'eau, et après on la fout dans le freezer au niveau du joint. On peut peut-être foutre de l'eau comme ça et ça va niquer le...
You can hardly make out what used to be written there, but I assume that nothing edible has ever been served here, at least since Tom inherited the pub.
Okay.
But I assume that it says 3 kegs, probably of beer.
So.
Probably belongs to a fisherman.
Ok. Ah bah, on va aller dans le pub, hein. Allez.
That's Tom's pub. I think he's still a bit angry because I left him in the swamp and stole his car. Tom would like to see me.
Oh.
Tom would like to see me dead. At least that's the last thing he said to me.
Ok, le pub est fermé en fait. D'accord. On peut pas aller à gauche, à moins qu'il y ait un scrolling. Nope. On peut pas aller là. Place du village, après le pont. On va je pense que c'est le... Je pense que l'éponge va nous suffire en fait. On peut double-cliquer, ça c'est bien. Madame, je veux un café. Encore? Mais...
Hello?
Hmm?
I'll have another coffee, please.
Sure.
Regarde, on va voir si j'ai raison. Éponge, saut.
The sponge. I've wet the sponge, and now it's soaking in my pocket. I've got to get rid of it soon.
Faudra l'ouvrir, je pense, avant, mais bon.
If I leave the wet sponge on the lid, I'm sure it would freeze onto it. It'd be a fascinating exercise, but not really all that helpful.
Je sais. Hop.
Now it's open again. I'll wet the sealant rubbers with the wet sponge.
Voilà. Et ça va geler.
If you close the freezer now, the water will freeze and it'll be almost impossible to open it again without defrosting the whole thing. Farewell, you donuts.
Bah, avec
Nobody's going to be getting you out of there in a hurry. Now that ought to slow down the inspector's donut order somewhat.
Ok. Donc là, ça va déclencher le script, il va venir. Voilà. Yes.
Another one of these flat days today. I could really do with something to lift me up a little.
Edward could come along at any time. Better if we wait till this evening.
It's not Edward. Give me a couple of donuts at least.
Yeah, sure. I'll get you some.
La classe.
Conrad, your donuts seem to have ended up in the freezer.
Yeah? But can't you blow them in the oven for a
Regarde de
bit?
l'autre côté,
The problem is, the lid's frozen solid.
Ah, I get it. You want me to help you warm up your frozen chest?
Oh putain.
I think those two are gonna be busy for a while.
Vous pouvez passer les cinématiques avec la touche Tab. Attention, toutefois, cela pourrait vous priver d'informations essentielles. Bah non, évidemment. Ok, donc maintenant on va dans le commissariat. On peut lui parler à lui.
Constable Zach seems okay. Plays by the letter of the law and all that.
Allez, on lui parle. Je vois pas... Je vois rien d'autre. Peut-être là.
Can I ask you something briefly?
Hmm?
Do you believe I set fire to the castle?
Well, Mr. Michaels, you claim to be Samuel Gordon's son, and you were at the scene of the crime with a smoldering torch in your hand.
I had that to defend
Sidebar.
myself with.
Against the mysterious secret order that nobody knows about and nobody's seen.
It's mentioned in the Gordon Chronicles.
500 years ago.
Forget it.
And then there was the thing with poor Miss Valley, right? We found your tracks at the scene of the crime.
I told you, forget it. Spooner, your inspector, is he always so nice?
I don't know. He was in the homicide department in London until half a year ago. Then, he got redeployed here as a punishment.
That explains a lot.
Since then, he's tried everything to get back out of here. He locks people up for the smallest of misdemeanors. Good for the statistics, you see.
And you can't do anything about it.
What does a bear do about the winter? He rows himself up and sleeps until the spring comes.
Can you make a copy of my file and send it to my lawyer?
Didn't he get one ages ago?
He wants to have the current version for the embassy.
Not possible.
Something wrong?
I'd forgotten. The copier gave up the Ghost a few weeks back, but there's a new one on order.
Are you being serious?
It's not so bad. I have so little to do here, I could type up most of the documents.
I understand. So, would you be so kind as to type my file?
No.
And what if I fix that thing?
All right then, you go and see what you can do with it.
Des énigmes demanderont de replacer les objets dans une certaine position. Vous pouvez les déplacer avec la souris en maintenant clic gauche et les faire pivoter avec un clic droit. Ok. Genre là, on va pas voir.
How long are you gonna look for Angelina?
She'll be deemed missing until we find her.
Even if she's long since dead?
We haven't found her body yet, Mr. Michaels.
Ouais, mais elle est tombée de très haut. Dans un puits
How
démoniaque.
involved were you in the investigation of my case?
I searched the sewer system and the bunker.
And you didn't find any clues?
No.
That just can't be true.
It's bloody dark down there, Mr. Michaels, and full of rats.
Ouais, d'accord, il a fait un
Not
taf de
for the
meurtre.
faint-hearted.
Is there anything new on the kidnapping? Have you spoken to Tom, Bobby, or the kid in Wales?
According to the statement, Tom was at Alton Towers with Bobby at the time.
And you don't find it a little bit strange that those two went to a theme park?
The only strange thing was that Bobby was in hospital for 2 days afterwards with concussion. But we've got a medical certificate that proves that.
And what if Tom was lying?
We can't prove it. He had 2 tickets for the theme park and the paperwork from the hospital.
Damn. And the boy?
There's no one called Van Helsing in Wales.
Goodbye, Constable.
Ok. Donc la photocopieuse alors. Falloir remettre des trucs en ordre.
It can't be that difficult to fix a copier. I studied it once.
Ça dépend ce qui est cassé, j'imagine.
Kind of. What if we got here? The fuse has blown. Switch to turn it on, and you press the green button to copy. If I twist and connect the wires that work, it should be able to copy again.
Ah. Ok. D'accord. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut... Ça. Ok. D'accord. Ça a cramé, ça a cramé, c'est ça? Ah oui, ok, on peut le faire tourner comme ça. Ou pas, en fait. Update, alors je me suis trompé, 1993, séquence des rôles Black Mirror 2, il n'y a pas de date pour le 3, mais c'est juste après. Bah c'est ce que j'ai dit, ah bien, ouais. Mais merci d'avoir check aussi. Ah ouais, tout à fait. Attendez, là, est-ce que je peux pas... Je sais pas si c'est bien de bouger tout, en fait, j'étais en train de me... Ah, peut-être qu'il faut que ça s'allume avant, ok. Peut-être que si je fais ça et ça... non. Est-ce qu'il y a un truc pour... Ah, putain. Je me demande s'il nous faut d'autres trucs, en fait. Comment est-ce qu'on sait... Délai suisse. Ouais, non, mais t'inquiète, merci d'avoir regardé. Non, c'est juste que comme il a pas changé de fringue, il a pas dormi visiblement. Enfin, tu vois, enfin si, il a dormi 3 semaines en tôle, quoi. C'est tout. Est-ce qu'il y a autre chose à bouger? Non. Ok. Est-ce que ça peut aller là ou sinon? Donc je sais pas moi. On va mettre les trucs... J'ai l'impression que ceux-là ils sont cramés et qu'il faut plus s'en servir en fait. Mais bon. Je peux me planter hein mais... Ah, donc ça c'est la lime en fait. Ah ouais, c'est ça. Et on va alimenter là. Ah, non, alimenter là. En tout cas, ça fait quelque chose. Est-ce qu'il faut pas... Non. Là, c'est trop... Non. Mais là... Ok. Mais alors, je me demande si on peut toujours se servir de ça, en fait. Est-ce qu'il faut... Peut-être... Ça, on peut le relier... Ah, peut-être le relier à ça. Et ça... Non. Oh, il y a des numéros. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, ok, putain, j'avais pas vu les numéros. Arrête. Ok, ça s'arrête si je fais ça, ok. Est-ce que... 3... Le truc jaune, il va là... C'est bizarre. Je vais voir si, si je quitte, si ça réinitialise le bordel.
The wires that aren't cooked have to be hooked up to the power switch somehow.
Toi, un moyen de relier les filles qui n'ont pas fondu. Ah, il nous faut peut-être un autre objet alors. Oh.
That should do it.
What? What? Comment ça, comment ça, that should do it? What?
Can I ask you something briefly?
Hmm?
The copier's working again.
Hmm?
Now, can you copy my file?
Sure. Then I'll send the copy to your lawyer. The copy of your file?
Then I can send it myself.
The inspector insists that no files can leave the building without authorization.
I see.
Damn.
Constable?
Mm-hmm.
When does the mail go? My lawyer needs the file as soon as
ouais,
possible.
GG apparemment.
I'll post it later on. It ought to be collected this afternoon.
Thanks. Goodbye, Constable.
En fait, j'avais peut-être mis ce qu'il fallait où il fallait et il fallait juste que j'enclenche le bouton. Ou alors, il y a un truc, une option qui fait que les puzzles sont simplifiés. Aide supplémentaire, afficher les, active l'aide supplémentaire durant la partie. Ça c'est le tutoriel en fait. Les astuces de didacticiel en cours de partie, non? Peut-être que c'est ça en fait que je vire. Indicateur d'éléments importants, j'ai désactivé. Puis les astuces de didacticiel en cours de partie. Les astuces de didacticiel, c'est bon. Okay. C'est peut-être à cause de ça en fait. Ça m'a peut-être, j'ai peut-être appuyé sur le bouton résoudre le puzzle. Comment immédiatement une connerie comme ça.
I'll just leave him in peace for now.
Ok. Alors, est-ce qu'il y a autre chose? On peut aller voir les cellules. On s'en fout. Allez, on va voir si on peut... C'est dans l'après-midi, il a dit.
Okay. This is my last chance to get my hands on the file. I somehow need to stop the letter from vanishing irretrievably into the mailbag. The mailbag is stretched over a kind of hanger.
Okay.
The mailbag is stretched over...
The mailbag. The mailbag. On peut l'attraper. Non. Avec ça peut-être. Pour l'arrêter.
The board is just the right size.
Yes.
It'll go straight on top of the mailbag so that when the constable posts the letter, I can easily pull it out again.
Wouhou! Maintenant il va se cacher. On va attendre qu'il on va attendre qu'il aille poster le truc. Eh ben.
It worked. Let's see what's in here. Friday afternoon, 12:30. Oh, they must have discovered the body then. The time of death for Miss Valley was the previous evening, Thursday, between 10 and midnight. Cause of death, burned alive after a blow to the back of the head. Oh, grim. Witness interviews. Let's see. Not important. Saw nothing. It continues. Friday, 1837. Emergency services called out. At that time, I was in the ruins of the old academy with Angelina, Lewis, and my mother. Then, Saturday, 12:06 a.m. Fire under control. At that time, I was running from the ruins in the direction of the castle. 3 bodies were retrieved. Lady Eleanor Gordon, Edward Bartholomew Bates, the butler,
Oh ouais, c'est le
and
majordome.
Sally Wood, the cook. 1 survivor, Lady Victoria Gordon, suffering from severe smoke inhalation. Also on Saturday morning, 12:12 a.m., Darren Michaels arrested on suspicion of arson and murder of Miss Valley. Witness interviews on the subject unproductive, and Lady Victoria Gordon could not as yet be questioned. She remains in shock. After a 2-week period of hospitalization, was discharged of her own wishes to continue medical supervision at home. Hey, it says here that Murray can't remember having seen me in the hotel on Thursday evening. That can't be right. That was exactly when he threw me out of the hotel. Oh, the rat was lying. Just wait. Evidence still insufficient to charge, but strongly suspected of crime. Current state of the investigation. Darren Michaels' conduct, as well as his contradictory testimony, is currently being examined for plausibility by the psychiatric expert, Dr. Joyce Winterbottom. Here's a note to Constable Zach. If he's diagnosed as nuts, will he have to be remanded in a loony bin? Oh my. Possible murder weapon, a torch, still smoldering, which was in Darren Michaels' possession when apprehended.
Ah, il venait d'une
He's
caverne,
undergoing
enfin d'une...
forensic examination. Deportation to USA, not possible. Release of the suspect on bail on direction of the court. Dr. Winterbottom authorized as prime supervisory agent and point of referral. Good, and I've got 2 new goals already. Visit Victoria and see how she's doing, and let Murray know what I think. I'll write in the file so I don't forget. There are enough empty pages.
Bah, moi aussi je le note, au nom de Dieu. J'étais plus rapide.
I can stash the remains of my diary away with it as well.
Ok. Quand une nouvelle entrée est disponible, le symbole clignote en haut à gauche de l'écran. Vous pouvez ouvrir le journal via l'icône en haut à droite ou avec les touches D ou J. Ça marche. Fichier de police. Ah ouais, ok. Enfin libre. Wow, ok. Je peux le dossier de police. Ok. Photocopieuse en panne. Imbécile a renversé son café sur la photocopieuse et je sais qu'on ne me donnera jamais mon dossier original. Par chance, je connais un peu en électronique, je devrais jeter un coup d'œil, le fusible a sauté. Mais je peux faire sans, je manque un peu de câblage de toute façon. Je manque un peu de câblage de toute façon, je n'ai besoin que d'une photocopie. Hein? Photocopieuse a beau être réparée, pas moyen d'obtenir une photocopie. L'agent de police indique qu'il enverra comment l'empêcher, ok. Bon. Mais où est-ce qu'il va? Ok, donc c'est logique C'est exact. En fait, ça se passe 3 semaines après le 2. Puisque, en fait, en gros, il était. Donc, on était dans une espèce de. Je sais plus comment il a appelé ça, mais bref, c'est une espèce de donjon avec un de temple bizarre. Angelina est morte là-bas, ainsi que je sais plus qui, enfin bref. Et il a dû sortir, après avoir foutu son sang sur le bouquin et en gros tomber sous le coup de la malédiction, il a dû sortir en courant avec une torche à la main pour y voir quelque chose et aller directement au manoir de Black Mirror, puisque au manoir des Gordon, puisque c'était juste à côté en fait. Et c'est là que les flics l'ont vu directement. Ça paraît logique. Ok, pont. On peut pas aller au pub, il s'est fermé. Route des bois. Dr. Winterbottom. Panneau. Fenêtre. Fenêtre.
Up there is Dr. Joyce Winterbottom's practice. It's very cozy. Willow Creek's Museum of Local History.
Ah oui.
A valuable hoard of English cultural history.
Ok. Bon, là, j'imagine qu'on peut pas y aller. Je passe en l'arc, ça marche. À tout, Aaron.
Hello, Doctor? Can I ask you a quick question?
Je vous écoute. Non, elle a dit comment on est rentrée. Bon, alors, avant de te poser une question, je vais regarder de façon super chelou ta pièce, ok? On est d'accord?
Dr. Winterbottom writes down a patient's dreams in the green books, but I haven't seen anyone else but me here yet. Strange.
Ah oui, c'est bizarre, effectivement.
Today's newspaper. There are probably lots of new, unbelievable revelations about the arsonist in it. You could hardly call this straggle of flowers a bouquet. Whenever I'm here, the ashtray is full. Dr. Winterbottom smokes like a chimney. Perhaps she should be in therapy. Dr. Winterbottom's notebook. Probably very revealing. At some point, she'll be able to write her memoirs with it. Dr. Winterbottom's lighter. Quite an expensive one. I guess it was a present.
Ok, un Dreamcatcher.
The famous psychiatrist's couch. Until now, I always thought it was a joke. But it's actually quite comfortable. My adoptive mother had a lamp like that. I always had fun hiding in it when I was a kid.
Quoi? Il se cachait dedans? Mais c'est pas possible. Ou alors, il grimpait, il escalade le poteau et il se cache là-dedans. Hein. Ok. Je sais pas si... J'aimerais bien voir ça. Là, y a rien. Des bouquins, y a rien. Là, y a rien. Là, y a rien.
A Native American dream catcher. It's supposed to protect you from nightmares. A Newton's cradle. The ball passes on its momentum to the next one, which passes it on to the next until it reaches the last one, which can't pass it on any further and is kicked into the air. A simple example of kinetic energy, but its only use is to work this toy.
Mm-hmm. J'ai cru voir un truc là, non? J'ai halluciné?
I wonder if the record of our discussions will end up in there.
Ok, allez.
Doctor?
What's troubling you, Adrian?
Do you believe me?
Darren, Adrian, we've gone through this so many times before. Of course I believe you.
Then why am I still on the hit list?
I'm a doctor, not a judge. By the way, they rejected the assessment of your not being of sound mind.
Rejected? What about the awful nightmares?
That kind of reaction is only normal, Adrian. If somebody suddenly revealed to me that I was descended from a long line of bloodthirsty murderers, I'd have nightmares too.
How come you ended up here in the first place?
A colleague of mine I'd known from my student days. A doctor. Heinz Hermann. Once worked here in the sanatorium. He was a friend of the Gordons. Then, 12 years ago, those dreadful murders took place. Heinz was one of the victims. I came here to give his family and the others a little spiritual support, and I'm still here. That's just how life goes sometimes.
Is it true that Spooner was sent here as a punishment?
Yes, I've heard that too.
What did he do then?
As far as I know, he overstepped his authority back in London, and that led to some guilty people getting off.
Ah, il doit être un peu
Or maybe the other way round.
vénère.
However, I'm not exactly right in the picture with all this.
Oh, great. A bad-natured investigator who can't tell the difference between guilty and innocent. I couldn't have come up against a better guy.
J'avoue.
Get this. I've been released on bail.
Well, that's a good reason to celebrate.
I'm not quite so sure. The bail was paid anonymously. You know anything about that by any chance?
Anonymously? No. Who'd do something like that?
No idea. To be honest, I'd hoped you were behind it. You like living in Willow Creek?
Yes, I like the life and the people. It's like time stood still here.
And every few years, along comes some psycho and murders half a dozen locals.
Yes, well, compared to the murder statistics in London, it's a proper holiday here.
Ouais.
Do
Faudra qu'on
you
se rende au
see me
château.
as being an arsonist?
Judging by your nightmares, you do at least seem to have a violence-orientated imagination.
Yeah, but Stephen King has that too.
As far as I'm aware, he has never been under suspicion of an arson attack resulting in 3 dead.
Whose side are you actually on?
On your side, Adrian.
Good. I swear to you that I've only ever told you the truth.
There are as many truths as there are people, Adrian.
Si
And
ça
we
se
still
trouve,
have to find yours.
si ça se trouve, il a vraiment brûlé le château, mais il s'en rappelle pas parce qu'il était sous le coup de la malédiction. Hein.
I had a strange experience earlier. It was just like one of my nightmares, but this time I was awake. It was in the police station, just as I was wanting to pick up my stuff. I suddenly found I had awesome strength. I dragged the guy to me through the bars and rammed my pencil into his eye. Wham! Then it was all over. It was just so real. Scary.
Flash.
You don't say.
Huh, great. So I'm cursed and possessed.
I was talking to a colleague about you the other day. She's how shall I put it? She understands alternative therapies.
What's that all about then? Drugs? Electric shock? Voodoo?
Hypnosis.
You're not serious.
It would at least be a possible way of finding out more.
Well, for my part, as long as you don't saw open the top of my skull.
It's not because Stephen King never n'a jamais été accusé d'incendie, qu'il a jamais causé. Oui, oui, c'est vrai, c'est vrai, c'est vrai, tout à fait, Serania, mais bon. Lui, il l'est, c'est justement ce qu'elle voulait dire en fait. Les textes sont un peu cryptiques, c'est dommage. Ouais, c'est ce que disait Jim là aussi. Je peux pas changer ça. Je regarderai peut-être pour la prochaine fois si jamais je peux faire quelque chose. J'ai souvenir d'un autre jeu, je pense que c'était peut-être Black Mirror 2, où j'avais trouvé un mode pour pouvoir agrandir les textes en fait. Moi ça me dérange pas là, parce que je suis en plein écran, mais si le petit le truc des tutoriels, ouais ça me dérange un peu. Mais sinon ça me dérange pas plus que ça, mais je comprends si vous êtes en fenêtré, que ça peut poser un problème. Ouais. Et après aussi il faut dire que j'écoute plus que je ne le lis, donc... Mais ouais, je note Tanner, je regarderai ça pour la prochaine fois. Sinon, bah...
These sessions, how long are they supposed to continue for?
What do you mean?
Well, I've been coming here every day for the past 3 weeks, but I'm still having nightmares every night, and the assessment says I'm 100% fit.
We ought to try hypnosis.
And what's that supposed to do? You want to join in on my nightmares?
Let's just try it tomorrow. If we can get to your roots, then perhaps we'll understand what your dreams are trying to tell us.
Boo. That's what they want to tell us. The dreams, I mean.
Oh, l'enfoiré.
Well, okay then, Doc. If you think that this might help me in some way. Catch you later.
Take care.
Bouh. C'est comme dans Phantasmagoria 2 quand la psy dit Black and Murder est super. Mais elle dit pas que c'est impossible. Ouais. Je comprends.
I don't have anything to ask her right now.
Okay.
I wonder if the record of...
Ouais, je peux rien prendre. On se casse, allez. Ok, le musée, je me rappelle quand c'était caché dedans. Mais je sais plus donc si c'était dans le 1 ou dans le 2.
There's a poster hanging here. We're rebuilding for you. Soon will be even more spectacular. Experience the horror up close and personal. Reopening on the 1st of December. That's in a few days' time.
Cool.
There's a poster hanging.
Ok, route de l'hôtel. Route des bois. On va aller à l'hôtel.
Then let's see what Murray's got to say in his defense.
Ah, c'est le maître d'hôtel Murray, c'est ça. Oh yes. Dans l'hôtel, on le voit pas dans le 1, on le voit que dans le 2.
Murray stating his patriotism. The old phony.
C'était encore l'Union Européenne.
Gordon's Palace. I wonder if Murray even has the right to use that name. Definitely not drinking water.
Et avant, on pouvait aller à gauche. Là, on peut pas, visiblement. On peut aller dans le chemin, par contre. Ah,
There are a few steps leading down behind the hotel. To the river, I reckon. There are a few steps.
Ok, on peut pas y aller pour l'instant, en tout cas. Ça scrolle pas, là. Nope. Ok. J'ai l'impression qu'il n'y a pas vraiment de scrolling.
Ah, Mr. Michaels! Welcome back to Gordon's Palace. We missed you here.
How's that? The last time we saw each other was Thursday, 3 weeks ago, when you threw me out of the hotel.
Thrown out of the hotel? How did that happen then?
The thing with the sewers, the secret entrance in Angelina's room. That ring any bells?
Really? Oh yes, there was something. Ah, well, please excuse me. I did overreact a little. I hope you're not going to bear a grudge, though, Mr. Michaels. I'm very happy to make things up with you. You'll also understand that I couldn't hold your reservation for such a long period. Unfortunately, your room is occupied at the moment. But you can have another, a bigger, nicer one, for a small price, really. And for such a room, a ridiculously tiny price.
So you've remembered then? Very good. Then please go right back to the police and tell them that you know exactly where I was on the evening that Miss Valley was murdered.
Was that the same day? Are you sure? Now, it may well have been. I don't pay much attention to that kind of thing. Why should I? It's really nothing to do with me.
You two-faced snake! I insist you march down to the inspector and tell him you want to change your statement.
Mr. Michaels, you're free. I don't understand your problem.
I'm only out on bail.
Oh, my congratulations. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. However, in spite of that, I still don't see why I should get involved with things that don't concern me.
You can't be serious. Thanks to you, I've just spent the past 3 weeks sitting in a cell as an innocent man.
Mr. Michaels, I really am extremely sorry, but I can't fulfill your request. My own credibility would be on the line if I were to simply change my mind.
Quel connard.
Unless what? Come on, spit it out and quit playing around, you pathetic little blackmailer. Otherwise, I promise you that the murder series will continue. here and now.
No. Admittedly, I'd be the last one who's standing in your way. But a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, isn't that so? All the same, I would like a photo of you. Nothing sensational. Maybe somewhere in the woods with a knife in your hand.
What?
So they can send me straight into the madhouse. No way.
Okay, think about it. A watertight alibi for a tiny little amusing photo. It's not a bad exchange.
You are one nasty dirtbag, Murray. You know that?
I'll even give you a camera to take it with. My best one.
Il la prend quand même.
Yeah. Does it still work using a lever?
It's a collector's piece. One of the first instant film cameras on the European market. An SX-70. And still in great condition, too. 15 years ago, a very well-groomed gentleman handed it over to me as a deposit in my pawn shop. He never picked it up again. So, you can say that I obtained it quite legitimately. And now, I entrust you with it. Pay attention, I'll tell you how it works.
That's okay. I'll work it out. If I choose to use it.
But that's not all. I've got another present for you. Here, a brand new rucksack.
C'est qui derrière? Ça serait pas Samuel Gordon?
And free food and lodgings for as long as you wish, Mr. Michaels. Accept it as a peace offering and reparations for the trouble with the statement.
You really are a few cards short of a full deck.
Mr. Michaels, wait!
What do you want now?
Forget the woods. In front of the castle would definitely have much more impact. The photo, I mean.
And people think I'm crazy.
Eh ben. Eve Mode a continué et que ce gars est pas tué. Est-ce qu'il a pas profité de la publicité de la famille du meurtrier? C'est possible, ouais, tout à fait. Tout à fait, donc on l'a récupéré. Sac à dos de Samuel Gordon, c'est bien ça.
A rucksack with a contorted image of my father's face on it. I'm not sure Murray's actually allowed to sell crap like this. Whatever, I'll sue him for that later. First of all, let's see what's inside.
Couteau et un briquet. Oh, le symbole, c'est les clés, ouais.
A lighter with Samuel's face on it. I could probably laugh about it if it wasn't my own father. One of Murray's merchandise articles. A blood-splattered plastic knife. Great for Halloween, especially in combination with the Samuel Gordon mask. Plastic soul key, check. Batteries, none. Murray tight ass, check. My hotel key. Wow, I've got room number 2 this time. A Polaroid camera. Murray gave it to me. My good old SLR sadly never made it out of the ruins.
Okay.
Huh, what have we got here? Bloody greetings from the murder village. See Blackmere Castle and die. Hello and goodbye with the Gordons. Quite a one-sided selection of cards.
Cards.
Huh. Blackmere Castle in poster format. I wonder who would hang this kind of thing above their bed. A big trolley for the masses of baggage the tourists that flock through here have with them. Murray always did have a bit of a tendency towards delusions of grandeur.
Journal.
The Willow Creek Telegraph. The guests need to be kept up to date with what the murderer is up to.
Je suis pas sûr qu'il y ait des têtes sur les à coups d'or, là.
This is information about all the attractions Willow Creek has to offer. The Murder Museum. The crime scene route including a flying visit to the pub and a group photo in front of the castle. I don't really want to know anymore. A telephone.
Murray.
A bowl of apples. Probably poisoned.
Okay.
Murray, my favorite hotelier. Obliging, helpful, polite, and always on the lookout to maximize his profits on the back of crime.
Ok. Est-ce qu'on a autre chose à lui dire avant de se barrer?
Hi, Murray.
Oh, the esteemed Mr. Michaels. What's on your mind?
Do you know the inspector, Mr. Spooner?
Oh, yes, I certainly do. He was here twice. Took half the hotel apart. A terribly inconsiderate fellow. But good for business, too. How often, as a tourist, do you have the chance to see this kind of an investigation firsthand? Unfortunately, he confiscated all of your and Miss Angelina's personal effects. Means I can only display replicas in the museum.
What bad luck. So, anything exciting happen?
You mean, apart from Miss Valley's murder and the castle burning down and 3 people losing their lives? Well, the fair's finished. In its place, we now have a new exhibition in the Willow Creek Museum of Modern Murder. It's opening in a few days. Oh, you should definitely see that. It's worth it.
Oh yeah. For you, most definitely.
C'est lui qui gère le musée aussi, ouais.
This photo of me that you've pictured.
Only a small favor. A tiny exertion on your part. Nothing huge. You just have to smear yourself with a little blood and swing a knife about. In a scary sort of way, of course.
Well, naturally. Oh, and best naked under a full moon by the lighthouse, yeah?
You're the pro. I trust your aesthetic sense completely.
Who's guaranteeing that you won't immediately run to the cops with it?
And what would I get out of that? You're judging me completely wrongly. Anyway, anyone would see that it's completely staged. I don't want anything authentic. Rather something somewhat stylized. Like for a movie poster.
You want to make a poster out of it?
I'm thinking more of a life-sized cardboard figure for the hotel entrance. Well, if you wouldn't have anything against that.
Do what you want. Just make sure you change your statement at the police station.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
But you know I had nothing to do with the fire, don't you?
Yes, well, according to the papers...
Yeah, the British tabloid press is world-renowned for its believability.
Well, of course, they don't always have the whole truth in there, but the headlines do help me to keep the hotel going.
In this case, at my expense. See you, Murray.
Back to work.
Ok, on va aller voir. Ah non, il y a un truc là. Porte du bureau.
There's nothing for you in there.
Oh, ça veut dire qu'il y a tout pour nous là-dedans. Mm-hmm.
That's my office. There's nothing in there for you.
Profitable pour lui de t'avoir dans la cellule, ouais, clairement.
The floor plan of the hotel. All of the rooms are drawn on it. Huh, Murray's office is right next to my room.
Chambre 2.
Back there's just a little sitting area. 2 armchairs, a table, a shelf with books. Boring. Lifted clean off its hinges. They were probably broken.
Ok. Il y a vraiment rien d'autre, ok.
The room looks almost exactly the same as the other one I had 3 weeks ago. I bet Murray got a discount on the interior decoration. While I'm here, I may as well put away the stuff I don't want to carry around with me.
Dans le sac à dos. Vestiaire.
The only thing I brought with me from Boston is a jacket. and I keep that on day and night. This thing is completely useless to me. Murray's office is right behind this wall.
On peut peut-être percer le mur.
Views of Willow Creek. At least it's better than portraits of my bloodthirsty relatives.
Donc là, on avait eu la chambre d'Angelina, il y avait un passage secret dedans directement. Donc si ça se trouve, on va peut-être en trouver un ici aussi. Hein.
They've covered up the ugly gray carpet with an even uglier beige carpet. Great idea. An antiquated thing for antiquated backsides.
Ok. Vu la caméra, enfin l'angle du truc, on n'a pas grand chose en fait.
There's only atmospheric noise. You probably have to pay extra to get TV channels.
Ok. Bon, rien d'autre. Ouais, visiblement, à part le mur, c'est bizarre qu'il y ait le mur.
Murray's office.
À mon avis, on va devoir faire un truc. Casser le mur avec le faux couteau. Ok. Bon, barrons-nous. Petite sauvegarde, tiens. Ce serait pas mal, un moment. Tac. Là. Donc on peut pas aller là, on peut pas aller là. Ben, barrons-nous. Boum, 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 boum.
I wouldn't know why I'd want to start a conversation.
Okay. Barrons-nous. Alors on va aller voir derrière déjà. Allez, on peut pas.
Steps leading down behind them.
Non, on peut pas aller là. On peut pas aller là non plus. Allez, on va aller à Black Mirror du coup. Route des bois. Et maintenant, à chaque fois que je vois des feuilles, j'ai un problème. Je pense à Leaf Blower Simulator.
I've no idea where that path leads. Before I get myself lost in the woods, I'd rather stay on the road.
Ok. On peut y aller. La route.
The cold pierces through your buttonholes and right down to your bones. Winter's just around the corner. In a few weeks, the last of the trees will be bare.
Chemin de gravier. Allez, on repart là. Et j'ai dit Black Mirror, Black Mirror Manor. Hein. Manor Black Mirror. Panneau.
That's actually a no parking sign. But I guess in this context it means stay out. A locked gate made of rotten planks. The barbed wire and the sign are nailed to the gate. That means you can open or close it from the other side without touching the barbed wire. There's barbed wire attached to the wooden gate. Someone's got something against unwanted visitors. Aimlessly wander through the woods? No thanks. The last time I did that, I got arrested for arson and murder. No. I don't feel like getting barbed wire wrapped around my legs.
Ok. Ok. On vient de là, chemin de gravier, un peu là.
All the warnings, the barbed wire, that has to make this path incredibly interesting. I'd really like to know what's behind all that.
Il nous faudrait quoi? Un bâton, une gaffe pour passer là. On va aller voir par là. Ah yes. Ok. C'est là où la Miss Valley a été retrouvée, c'est ça?
Whoever drives here with a car is either quite brave or quite stupid. The spiral staircase is completely decayed. The lighthouse hasn't been used for ages.
J'aime beaucoup cet écran.
An old abandoned lighthouse. It must have collapsed many years ago.
Il y a quelqu'un qui a été enterré ici, si je me rappelle bien.
I found Miss Valley's corpse here. Yes, right here. But there's no evidence of the crime to be seen. Next spring, lovers will be back here, looking out at the sea, arm in arm.
Okay.
Fine English cliffs, gray and steep. Perfect for bringing your life to an end. The North Sea. This is where England stops.
Donc si c'est au nord de l'Angleterre, c'est l'Écosse du coup, non?
An English sky that no travel brochure can ever do justice to.
Non, l'Écosse est au nord. C'est au nord-ouest, c'est ça. Ok, rien d'autre. Ah. Il y a quelque chose. Ça fait schlonk. Oh. Étrange, je pouvais faire bouger le corbeau, d'accord. Et j'avais pas de... C'était pas indiqué, quoi. Bizarre. Ok. Par là, là. Route non goudronnée vers le château. Ok, il nous reste 40 minutes, on peut aller explorer avant là. Bon,
Dead branches on a dead tree. Looking at that makes you feel much more alive. A busted signpost. You can hardly make out what he used to say. That's the road to Wormhill, Willow Creek's neighboring village. Well, village is a little bit of an exaggeration, but at least there's a church there. I don't want to walk there, though. Well, I have no reason to.
Okay.
That's the road. Well, I don't want to walk.
Je comprends. Bon, bah là.
Spectacular backdrop, huh? But as I'm already here, I ought to look in on Lady Victoria and ask how she's doing.
Tout à fait.
A huge lump of stone. I'm no geologist, but it doesn't look like it grew here. It's apparently...
Oh merde.
It's certainly decorative, if you like having boulders in your garden. It's certainly decorative.
Ok, j'ai zappé un des textes, mais bon, tant pis.
The gate is locked shut. The castle looks really threatening from here.
J'avoue.
One of 3 nymphs that guard the castle and are supposed to provide light. Old Bates used to use the nymphs as a mnemonic device. In Greek mythology, nymphs often accompany superior divinities. They were seen as the benevolent spirits of trees, grottos, or important places. Well, that's my knowledge of nymphs pretty much exhausted. The castle looks really... The last time I was here, I was able to bust open the wrought iron gate. The lock looks way sturdier than it used to be. I'm not going to be able to get it open without a lot of hassle, for sure. Looks like a few kids have had a party here. Bates would go bananas if he could see all this.
Pauvre Bates qui est mort, boîte aux lettres.
An empty letterbox. An empty letter. Is it just me, or has nature taken its course at an amazing rate here over the last few weeks?
Okay.
Oh, we've got a new doorbell with an intercom system.
Who's there?
My name's Adrian Gordon. I'd like to see Lady Victoria, please. Hello?
Pas creepy, hein.
Come in, Mr. Gordon. Lady Victoria has just woken up.
Yes, of course.
Please excuse the chaos. The builders are working on the renovations.
You're looking after Lady Victoria?
Yes. I'm a trained nurse of your...
great-grandmother.
I take care of all of your great-grandmother's needs.
Thank you, Miss...
Antolini. Sister Antolini.
Thank you, Sister Antolini.
Can I just ask you something?
Ok. Les rénovations.
Do you think that being in the middle of a construction site is the right place for such an old lady?
Lady Victoria was most insistent that she be moved back into the castle. She said that she'd been born here and that she wanted to die here. And the walls here are rather thick. She doesn't hear that much. At least she hasn't complained as of yet.
Une seconde.
Ok, désolé, mon thé a failli me tuer. Ce qui est pas cool. Allez.
How is Lady Victoria?
As well as can be expected. She's not speaking to me, unfortunately. Perhaps you'll have better luck.
Oh God, looks like a death chamber in here. Oh, I can feel a chill right to my heart. I can only hope Victoria gets better soon.
Comment on appelle son arrière-grand-mère? Arrière-mamie? Grand-mamie?
Hairbrushes, makeup utensils, creams, Victoria's cosmetic stuff. A small casket. Victoria probably keeps her jewelry in it. A shelf with books, souvenirs, and caskets on it. Huh, probably full of memories. If you look out there, you might think it's deepest winter. Or has that more to do with the chill here in the room?
Okay, attends.
Reminds me of Lady Eleanor's castle in Wales, but during better days. When Tom was holding me prisoner there 3 weeks ago, it was already half sunk in the marsh. A picture of a woman in white. Looks like a kind of wedding dress. That's William's name at the bottom in the corner. My great-grandfather must have painted it.
William qui s'est suicidé, hein, je rappelle, puisqu'il était atteint de la malédiction.
A bit of a deja vu moment. About 4 weeks ago, I was standing at my foster mom's sickbed. These machines were there, too. There's even a button to call the nurse here as well. A plush stool. Like lots of things in this room, It's red. A huge oak bed. Presumably it used to be William's and Victoria's bed. William died more than 12 years ago.
Ah, plus que ça même. Puisque Samuel Gordon, c'était en 81 que ça s'est passé. Il est revenu après la mort de son... Ah non. Ah, il est arrivé, je pense, quand son grand-père s'est suicidé. Donc en 81. Ok. C'est logique. Ok.
A room screen. It's supposed to be a barrier to prying eyes. There are lots of cupboards. Huh, this is probably Victoria's dressing room.
Ok. Allez.
Victoria, my great-grandmother, and the only member of my family I've got left.
Mm-hmm. Grandma?
Hello, Victoria? It's me, Adrian.
Beep, 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 beep.
Did you put up the bail for me?
Ok.
Are you being well looked after?
Ah oui, mais super, hein. Faut des claques.
Victoria, are you okay? Victoria, I need your help. Really. The police don't believe me. How can I make them understand that I'm Adrian Gordon when the name Darren Michaels is printed in my passport? Victoria, you're the only one who can help me. Please.
Putain, elle pionce, laisse-la tranquille.
I'm sorry about what happened to Bates, Eleanor, and Sally. It must be awful for you.
Adrian, tell me the truth.
Ah.
Was it you? Did you start the fire?
No, Victoria, it wasn't me. It was Lewis. He did what Angelina told him to do. She was behind all the murders. It was her who also lured me here because she needed me for, well, you know, the curse which only affects the male Gordons. She wanted to achieve what Samuel was trying to prevent. She was possessed by it. She lied to me, to all of us.
What's all that, Adrian? You sound like a coward. It wasn't me. It was Angelina. Why should I believe you? Why have you come here at all? Things were going well for you in America. If you'd only just stayed there, Bates would still be alive. Eleanor, Catherine, Miss Valley. You're too weak. You can't stand up to Mordred. His ghost rides you like a child rides a rocking horse. Since you've turned up, there's been nothing but calamity. Just disappear again, Adrian. Do me a favor and go back to where you came
C'est
from
pas très gentil,
before
madame.
the other half of the castle goes up in flames.
Oh! Fuck!
What have you done to her?
Nothing at all. I've been talking with her, that's all.
You'd better go now. Your great-grandmother needs peace and quiet.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't want that. I'm sorry.
Just go, please.
Ouais. En fait, il a encore eu un flash, mais il l'a pas fait. Ouf.
That went well. Now it's not just everyone in the village that hates me, but the only remaining member of my family, too. Real good job, Darren. If I wasn't already doing it, I'd be signing up for therapy right away.
Just passing a cushion on her face isn't that bad. Oh, mais il l'a pas vraiment fait. Que je disais, c'était juste un flash. Pourquoi Murray s'est-il entêté à prétendre qu'il ne m'avait pas vu dans l'hôtel la soirée du meurtre de Miss Valley? C'est totalement faux. Ce soir-là, je lui ai même demandé l'heure. J'ai découvert ce qui le pousse à mentir. Je suis censé prendre une photo pour Murray où je prends la pose du tueur du château de Black Mirror. Et à quel prix? Juste pour que finalement ce menteur accepte de dire la vérité. Un mensonge contre une vérité, Murray, dans toute sa splendeur. Je sais pas si on devrait le faire, on devrait pas. Comment Victoria va-t-elle le faire maintenant? Parce qu'elle est toute seule. Maintenant qu'elle est toute seule au château, sans Eleanor ni Bates, je peux peut-être aller l'aider. Je pourrais m'installer au château et veiller sur elle, ça serait bien la moindre des choses. Elle me hait. Pour Victoria, tout est de ma faute. J'aurais dû rester loin de tout ça, très loin à Boston. Et puis il y a cette vision, si jamais je ne ferais de mal à Victoria, c'est Angelina qui a tout monté, c'est elle qui m'a fait venir, et c'est elle la responsable de tous ces morts, de tous ces morts, toutes ces morts. De tous ces morts. Victoria ne croit pas un mot de ce que je lui raconte. Si seulement je pouvais lui montrer une preuve. Une preuve. On peut y retourner ou pas?
Victoria's had me thrown out. Not a good idea to bug her again.
C'est pas faux. Okay. Bon. Ok, que faire maintenant?
That's, well, village. I don't want to walk.
Il veut toujours pas aller là, ok. On a la carte. Alors. Willow Creek. Black Mirror. Le phare. Il y a des endroits là où on n'a pas été. Ça doit être... Ouais, c'est Warmill, là. Ok. Tac, 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 tac. Allez. Tic, 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 tic. À la Monkey Island.
There's a poster hanging
here.
Okay. I don't want to disturb her.
Ok. Est-ce que le pub maintenant est ouvert? Non. On peut pas aller là non plus.
Tom would like to see me dead.
Petite sauvegarde. Ok. Bon, je pense qu'il doit toujours pas être là. Tiens.
I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I'm not going back there voluntarily.
Okay.
I'll just leave him in peace for now.
Ok. Bon.
The sales girl is terrified of me. As long as I don't ask her any questions, then I probably won't give her a heart attack.
Ouais, bon. On a besoin de rien en particulier, donc je sais pas trop. On va aller voir s'il s'en sort, lui. Oh! What the fuck? Okay. Au revoir, madame. Désolé, madame. Bobby et Edward.
Huh, there's Bobby, the village idiot. Well, no, that's being unfair. He's pretty much the nicest guy for miles around. The cafe waiter is a real stiff. Maybe he's just swallowed something rather nasty? Ah, I'll just ask him.
Ok, et la nana, elle est plus là. Elle s'appelait Denise, c'est ça?
Hello, Bobby.
Oh, hi, Darren. Is it true that you're evil now?
No, Bobby, you don't need to be scared. I'd never do anything to anyone.
The others said that you set fire to the castle.
You shouldn't believe everything people tell you, Bobby. I'm innocent. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's what Tom says all the time too. Okay, Darren. I believe you.
Moi, je le crois pas, moi. Ok, donc c'est le frangin de Tom, en fait.
Tell me, Bobby, do you know the village policeman?
Yeah, but I don't like him. Tom doesn't like him either.
Aren't you working in the museum anymore?
No. Mrs. Puff sent me away.
The mayoress sent you away? How come she did that?
I didn't take enough care, she said. I did lose the key.
À cause de nous.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Are you working here now?
Yeah. But not for money, but for Denise. She's my new girlfriend. I help her out.
I get it. And is Denise happy you're helping her out?
Yeah, she gives me muffins and chocolate.
That's kind of her.
But I don't want to have it for nothing. I'll pay for it later. I don't want her to get into trouble.
That's nice of you, Bobby. You really like her then?
Oh, yeah. Denise is much prettier than Mrs. Puff. She's even more beautiful than the sun.
Okay.
Do you know the old lady who left so quickly earlier?
That's old Dorothy. She's funny. She always comes here and picks up old cakes. She gives them to goats. I like goats.
I like goats.
What's your brother Tom up to then?
I don't know. He's not around much right now. But that's good too. He said he's going to kill you if he finds you.
I'd better be going.
Okay, Darren.
Ok. Edward. Oh, il y a quelqu'un derrière là.
Hi.
Good day, sir.
You almost look like a waiter to me.
You're absolutely right, sir. My name is Edward.
Hello, sir.
Do you know the inspector?
Of course. He's a very good customer. Perhaps a little too good. He likes to keep Denise from doing her work. And she likes being distracted.
So maybe it's not the right job for her.
On the contrary, sir. I tell her father time and again she's absolutely the right woman for the job. Even the workmen from the castle come down here for a coffee. I really couldn't imagine anyone better for the job than her.
It's a nice cafe you've got here.
Thank you, sir. I do all I can to keep it that way.
Aren't cafes a bit uncommon in England?
If you say so, sir. But I think this place deserves an alternative to that drunkard's dive over there.
What can you tell me about Willow Creek?
A quiet place. Bad for midwives, they'd find no work here. But ideal for authors, if they happen to write thrillers.
Yeah, or horror stories. You've got lots of photos of the people of Willow Creek in here. Have you got any of the Gordons?
Sorry, sir, but the Gordons do not keep company in these humble rooms.
Where do they keep company then?
As far as I know, they very rarely leave their estate. They used to go to church every Sunday, but it's been a long time since they've even done that.
Elle est où l'église?
I'd better be going.
Please, do us the honor again soon, sir.
Ok. Est-ce qu'il y a des nouveaux trucs ici, du coup?
I better not go in there right now, or Denise will bar me from the place.
Ok, on peut que ça débloquer les trucs de leur avoir parlé.
Hi, Bobby. The waiter, Edward, is he pleased that you're helping her as well?
He'd send me away, but I always came back. Then he said that if I make myself useful, I can stay. I'm not allowed to just sit and stare at Denise, because people would get scared of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it if people are scared of me.
I don't like that either.
Edward said as well that if I touch a cake, then I'll have to eat it. And they don't give me coffee anymore because it makes me ill.
I'd better be going.
Okay, Darren.
Later. I've asked all I want to know for the moment.
Ok. Donc on peut pas aller là. Pas aller là. Quelque chose me dit qu'on pourra. Ça fait je blip. Ok, là on peut pas. Ok, j'imagine que le pub est toujours fermé. Ouais, d'accord. Elle, on peut pas. Oh, est-ce que on peut maintenant parler d'Edward et de Bobby?
I'll just leave him.
Ok, non. Elle a toujours la flippette.
The sales girl was terrible.
Oui. Ok, allons là. Route des bois et route de l'hôtel. On n'a pas.
I don't want to disturb her.
Ok.
There's a poster hanging.
Ok. On est à l'hôtel, hein? Toujours pas aller là?
There are a few steps leading down behind me.
Bon, est-ce qu'il faut prendre une photo avec le... Putain, j'ai pas envie. On va être obligé de faire ça, je pense. Photo... Fontaine. Non. Comment est-ce qu'on utilise...
Wasting water like that wouldn't really be Murray's style. I guess it's rainwater that's pumped up again and again.
Il voulait prendre une photo de nous avec une pose avec un couteau. Visiblement, c'est pas possible. Non. Ah, faut peut-être parler à l'avocat.
A telephone.
Hi, Murray.
Oh, the esteemed Mr. Michaels. What's on your mind?
The woods around Willow Creek are pretty gloomy.
The woods are quite exceptional, I'll have you know. Full of ghosts and demons, if you like to believe the local folklore. The perfect backdrop for all of the grisly murders that have happened here and are, regrettably, yet to come.
You can hardly wait, right?
I've lived here long enough to know that patience is a virtue.
Why don't you go out and kill a few people yourself if you're so hot on it all?
I'm a businessman, not a murderer. A small but absolutely fine distinction, Mr. Michaels.
See you, Murray.
Back to work.
On va voir s'il y a des trucs à changer là. Non, on peut pas. Hey, Lalilou. Welcome here. You love that game? Yeah, the whole series great. Welcome here. Just to let you know, this is a French channel, so I'll do most of my comments in French. Feel free to speak in English. We do speak English in here. One of the best old adventure I've ever played. Yes, please, no spoil, no tip, no advice. Thank you. It's okay, I don't understand French. How is it okay then? But sure, Okay. You're German? Just watch. Okay, yeah, that's true. They speak in English. The voiceovers are in English, so you're good with this. You're from Germany. Oh, hi Germany. Ok. Toujours rien ici. Toujours rien. Ok. Je vois pas trop. Je vois pas trop où je veux qu'on aille du coup. Rien là. Est-ce qu'il faut prendre cette photo? Je suis sûr. Alors lui, il faudrait pouvoir le... faudrait le faire diversion pour qu'il se barre et qu'on puisse aller dans son bureau, à mon avis. Mais... Oh. On peut peut-être l'appeler? Est-ce qu'on a ça? Est-ce qu'on a le numéro?
My lawyer's business card. Would never have thought I'd need one of those.
Est-ce qu'on a le numéro?
My hotel key. Wow.
On n'a pas le numéro.
A telephone.
Livre d'or.
A guest book. I'm definitely not writing my name in there.
Ok. Je me dis, ça serait pas mal de l'appeler. On lui dit, va loin, 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 loin. Bon, visiblement. Pas là. Merde, ok. Ah oui, j'avais dit, on va essayer de rappeler l'avocat. Puis la de bonne aventure, tant qu'à faire. Alors. Il va peut-être nous mettre sur une autre piste.
Jones and Partners Chambers. Please leave your name and telephone number. We're in your corner.
Okay.
I've had enough of my future for today. Maybe I'll call her again tomorrow.
Ok, est-ce qu'on a autre chose? Caractéristique, faux journal. Hein? Faux journal? Pourquoi faux journal?
A lighter with Samuel's face on it. I could probably laugh about it if it wasn't my own father. One of Murray's merchandise articles. A blood-splattered plastic knife.
Ok. Ok, donc pas ça. Là, on peut pas sortir. On va retourner par là. Là, on a peut-être loupé un chemin. Alors par là, c'est le phare. Là, il veut pas y aller.
No idea where that...
On va retourner vers le phare. Il y a cet endroit-là. Là. Est-ce qu'on pourrait avec ça? Non. Non. Non plus. Ok.
All the warnings, the barbed wire. That has to make this path incredibly interesting. I'd really like to know what's behind all that.
Je suis d'accord. Il va pas y aller. Pa pam pam. Et c'est marrant qu'il veuille même pas rentrer dans le phare en fait. Oh, est-ce qu'on peut prendre des photos des empreintes? Non. Que dalle. Ouais, mais je vois pas en fait. Je vois pas où on peut aller là. Il veut pas aller à...
That's the road to Warm Hill,
ouais, il veut pas aller là
Willow Creek's neighboring village. Well, village is a little bit of an exaggeration. But at least there's a church there. I don't want to walk there though, while I have no reason to.
Est-ce que c'est là-bas l'église du premier, du deuxième, je sais plus, ou des deux. Là le château. Il n'y a rien. Feuille.
First it was on the tree and now it's on the ground. That's what you call the fall.
Oh, et si on utilisait la carte directement sur les chemins, on a dit qu'il veut pas se perdre. Juste pour voir. C'est celui-là? Non, celui-là.
I've no idea where that path leads.
Est-ce qu'on peut utiliser la carte là-dessus? Non, il veut pas. Okay. Fouque. Et là, on peut pas partir à droite. Juste là.
An empty letterbox.
Oh, est-ce qu'on peut prendre la photo
Oh well,
yes.
Here goes nothing.
C'est une très mauvaise idée, mais je crois qu'on n'a pas le choix en fait. Arrgh. Oh putain.
A photo of me in front of the castle. That'll have to do for Murray.
Ok. Ouais. Là. Ah, il est à l'opposé. Je sais pas pourquoi je pensais qu'il était plus vers là. On va bientôt s'arrêter. Stop in 10 minutes. Hop.
So there, you've got your stupid photo. Happy?
Oh, I can hardly recognize a thing.
Me in front of the castle as agreed? Okay, off to the cops, Murray.
I'm sure you know how important my exonerating statement in the Valley murder case is.
Murray.
Okay, I'll take it.
First, go to the police station.
All right, then I'll go today. I'm an honorable businessman.
And I'm a possessed madman.
I suggest taking a rest in your room first, and then when you wake up, everything will have been sorted with the police.
I really could use some sleep.
Ok. On va faire un rêve, tous les coups. Pas cool. Oh!
Huh. Someone shoved something under the door. I can help you prove your innocence because I believe in your innocence. But I have to be able to trust you too. We can't meet yet, which is why I'm just gonna send you clues. If you want to take up my offer, then you'll find the first lead at your father's grave.
Okay.
Huh. That's a bit confusing. Who's this message from? Murray? He doesn't have an interest in proving my innocence. And anyway, he would just tell me himself. But who else knows I'm living here in the hotel? I need to follow this up carefully. And I ought to find out where the graveyard is around here.
Ouais, c'est what a troll. Ok. Et donc il veut pas dormir, c'est ça maintenant? Il veut plus dormir, ok. Ça s'annonce plus long que prévu. Quelqu'un croit à mon innocence. Je dois la prouver tout seul. pourquoi. Et qui a écrit le mot que j'ai trouvé dans ma chambre d'hôtel. Sûrement pas, Murray. Si je veux en apprendre davantage, je dois aller faire un tour sur la tombe de Samuel. Malheureusement, je sais pas du tout où est le cimetière. Bah, on va aller demander.
Hi, Murray.
Oh, the esteemed Mr. Michael.
Is this note here from you?
Pardon? No, I speak to my guests personally when I've got something for them.
Was there anyone here asking for me earlier?
No, you're simply not well known enough. But that will soon change, believe me.
Okay.
Murray, do you know where the local graveyard is?
A graveyard? Didn't you want to take a rest?
I'm not up for resting anymore.
I'm sure you can't mean the graveyard behind the hotel. It's being redone right now.
It's being what?
I've had it removed for the time being, so I can relocate it in a sensational new setting. It means I can charge more for some of the rooms, with views over the Gordon graveyard.
You've had the Gordon family graves leveled?
Sérieux?
To be quite honest, there was only Lothar Gordon's grave there, the founder of the original sanatorium. The family crypt is in the churchyard at Wormhill.
Ah, right.
Quoi ce bruit?
In Worm Hill, then. See you, Murray.
Back to work.
Ok. Ah, si ça scrolle. Tac. C'est réaliste en plus, lol. Je crois qu'il y avait un truc qui brillait là. Bon. Wormhill. Coucou Poro, comment ça va? Bienvenue. Tu viens d'unlocker une nouvelle zone, c'est probablement le son. Ouais, t'as raison, ouais, tu dois avoir raison. C'est un bien. Il faut rire.
It's really overgrown back there. And foggy, too. It wouldn't surprise me if some undead ghouls suddenly started staggering about.
Ouf. Parle pas de malheur, hein.
According to the map, this stream's called Old Wansford.
Sentier. Ah, bon scrolling là. Tu viens de lire une question de point de vue. On peut dépasser. C'est vrai qu'on peut dépasser.
Why should I go into the middle of the woods?
On va probablement dépasser un petit peu, comme d'habitude. Surtout qu'il n'y aura pas de stream samedi prochain. Ah voilà, l'église. Ça, je me rappelle de ça. Ok.
Wormhill Church. 800 years old and no spire. Very unusual.
Le temps est relatif, oui. Par contre, l'heure qui passe, l'heure affichée ne l'est pas.
This part looks like it's been pushed in. Wonder if it was a hearse driver with parking problems. Ancient headstones. It looks like the design hasn't changed in hundreds of years.
Tombe récente, ça doit être là. Ah non, ou alors c'est ceux qui sont morts dans les bois. Attends. Comment vas-tu, Poro? Je propose d'arrêter à minuit chez Serrania. Ça fait 8 heures de décalage. Non.
This is where Miss Valley is buried. Murdered by my cursed sister. Perhaps I should bring a few flowers the next time I visit.
6. La côte est des États-Unis, c'est 6 heures, non? Et 9 pour la côte ouest, voilà, c'est ça. Il est 19h chez toi? Il est minuit ici. 4 et 3, 7. Ah non, 7, ok. Non, on dit on stop vers 5h, lol.
This is where Miss Valley is buried. Murdered by my cursed sister. Perhaps I should bring a few flowers the next time I visit.
T'es pas en heure de l'Est alors, Serania, c'est ça? Je sais pas où t'es exactement. Alors, cimetière, porte de l'église. Tac. On va regarder ça. Donc, j'imagine que le jeu vous plaît. C'est cool. Pas pour 24 heures. Là. 8h du mat à Tokyo, ils sont déjà au croissant, les bougres. On paye les 300 japonais, c'est super bon.
That's quite a recent grave. There are even a few flowers still lying on it.
Il n'y a pas de nom?
A fortified tower with battlements. That might have been more essential than a bell tower. There might be bells behind the slats. In that case, they are small auxiliary bell towers.
Mm-hmm. Ah, on peut virer les corbeaux, c'est le deuxième. Je me disais aussi. C'est ça, tous les corbeaux. À tous les coups, il faut les. Ça doit être des patounes, ça. On vient de changer à l'heure d'été. Ah, et ben voilà, c'est pour ça. D'accord. C'est logique. Et nous, on change d'ici 1 ou 2 semaines, je pense. On va aller par là. On va découvrir l'église et puis après on arrêtera. Non, arrête-toi, tu vas te passer. Voilà. Non.
Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there.
Ok. Je suis sûr qu'il y a un truc à faire avec la tombe récente. Ok. Non. Et on peut rentrer dans l'église. Mais on regardera après. Il manque qu'on arrête avec ce changement, que c'est des sites de lesquels on garde et basta. Je suis d'accord avec toi, ça a plus vraiment d'intérêt maintenant. Tout à fait d'accord avec toi. Bon. C'était très chiant au niveau de mon taf.
This is where Miss Valley is buried. Murdered by my cursed sister. Perhaps I should bring a few flowers the next time I visit. This is where Miss Valley is buried.
Go. Tombe anonyme.
Gravestones without names. Gravestones. This certainly isn't a well-groomed graveyard. Most of the graves are overgrown with twining weeds and roots.
C'est aujourd'hui ou demain à Saint-Patrick, c'est le 17. C'est aujourd'hui. Je suis pas sûr du tout, mais je crois que la Chine a un fuseau horaire légal. Chine, légal, quoi?
The wall has collapsed right in the middle without having a demolition ball taken to it. It takes a few hundred years for that kind of thing to happen.
Pierre tombale. Clôture.
Wow, the fence has really been battered. If we were in India, I would say it was a herd of elephants.
Ah! Crypte familiale. Pierre tombale, allez voir là.
That's William Gordon's grave, my great-grandfather. He died in August 1981. No idea why he wasn't buried in the family crypt. That's William Gordon's grave.
Ok. C'est vrai, pourquoi est-ce qu'il a pas été enterré? Il y a peut-être plus de place? Non, c'est pas possible.
That's the Gordon family crypt. The musty skeletons of my ancestors are just behind this door. I'm not interested in paying them a family visit.
Bah ouais, mais pourtant, il faut y aller. Non? Tu veux... Ok. Il y a une autre tombe, alors? Il dit qu'il fallait aller... Pendant longtemps, j'allais faire un tour sur la tombe de Samuel. Et c'est là, c'est dans la crypte, logiquement. Bon.
Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there.
Ok. Bizarre. Je sens qu'il y a quelqu'un là en fait.
A huge stained glass window for optimum illumination. Bare wooden pews. Very inviting. They really make you want to kneel down and pray.
Grave.
There are some phrases from the Bible engraved in this. Behold the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of the world, says John 1 verse 29. For to me to live is Christ and to die is gain, says Philip, also 1 verse 21. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew, blah, blah, blah. The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. Psalms 118, verse 6.
Ouais, c'est vrai que la Chine devrait elle devrait s'étaler sur plusieurs fuseaux horaires comme les États-Unis, mais d'un autre côté, c'est plus pratique s'ils en ont qu'un seul pour tout le pays, quoi. J'imagine, hein. J'imagine que c'est ça. Vu qu'ils sont pas soumis à des quelconques règles internationales, au final. Extérieur, il n'y a rien là, rien là. Confessionnal.
Who's that? That doesn't look like the priest.
Uh-oh. Oopsies.
Hey, you there. Good morning.
Ah non, il est pas mort, ok.
Oh, I'm sorry, lad. I must have nodded off.
In the confession box?
The bench has a cushion on it, at least.
You're not the priest, are you?
God forbid. I'm Mark, the grave digger.
The grave digger. Ils ont l'officiel et le locaux. Ah d'accord, ok. Je sais pas. Je croyais que c'était qu'un seul aussi.
Do you know Wormhill well?
Of course, but it's just a few houses on the back of the woods. There's more life in here, I tell you. Are you looking for something in particular?
No, I'm just trying to get an idea of the place.
Looking around this graveyard will give you a better idea of the place. And should you want to reserve yourself a spot here, then let me know. I recommend the southern slope. That's the best location.
Thanks for the tip, but I'm in no hurry to die just yet.
But maybe death's in a hurry to come and get you.
What is it you actually do all day?
Answer stupid questions.
I mean, digging graves can't be all you do.
Yeah, you're right, lad. I don't just dig. I repair things too, keep the church in order, guard the graves. And if you think that the weeds grow on their own around here, then think again. It ain't weeds, and it don't grow on its own. But who's interested anyway?
What did you mean by that? You guard the graves?
Well, because of the clientele. So they don't get dug up. By dogs and the like.
Which dogs?
Well, strays from around here. For them, a graveyard is like
an underground hot dog stand?
Yeah, exactly. With bloody tough sausages.
Ok. Je sais plus ce que je voulais dire. Pourquoi est-ce que le fossoyeur doit être écossais? C'est bizarre, non?
You must have a lot to do around here, being the gravedigger.
Oh, that's right. My job here is quite secure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me anything about the church?
What do you mean then, lad? Who built it? It certainly wasn't me, even if I might look that old. Must have been around the time Marcus Gordon was alive. Have you seen the dark part of the tower up there?
Yes.
He ran out of stone, and they say he took stones from his castle walls to finish it off. Demolished his own castle to finish the church.
A model Christian.
Wow.
Perhaps his time was running out. Got himself buried in there in the end.
A crypt that's 100 feet tall with an altar and a bell tower, all for him alone. What a modest man.
All those toffs are. No, he treated himself to an extra crypt underneath the nave. But it caved in 12 years ago. Nobody can get in there anymore.
Il y a 12 ans. Avec Samuel. Pour le kilt, lol. Même pas.
It's quite a woody area.
That's also supposed to be the reason it's such a bloody area.
The evil of the woods? People around here read too many horror stories.
Or have experienced it themselves. Have you been in the woods here at night?
No.
They say there's plenty to see. Murderous lords of the castle. The undead. Mordred's voracious hellhounds. There are many stories about it. Probably as many stories as there are people here.
The woods around Willow Creek strike me as being particularly creepy.
Yes, and the number of wild boars in there is uncanny. I've known them to trample down my fences to get at the clientele. But I've got some crafty traps set up. I'm looking forward to having a roast. The priest gave his permission.
Tombe récente, ok. Tombe récente.
There's a fresh grave in front of the church.
That'll be Sally's, the young cook from the castle. The poor thing was burned to death, just like old Bates. The fire didn't really make any difference. But Bates isn't here. Lady Victoria insisted on burying him in the Gordon Crypt, like a member of the family.
Just like Lady Eleanor, I assume.
Yes, there's still plenty of space in the crypt. Lots of the Gordons haven't been buried there.
Why not?
Well, there are just too many murderers and suicides. They're frowned upon in Catholic graveyards, particularly the ones who commit suicide.
Why? What happens to them?
C'est pour ça que William était dans une tombe à part.
They're buried anonymously, without any religious ceremony, without the ringing of the bells, without any prayers, without a priest, nothing. They're all buried before sunrise, over by the north wall.
Isn't that what they used to do hundreds of years ago?
Perhaps where you come from. But we're in Wormhill, the manor of Black Mirror Castle. Things are all a bit different around here, my lad.
Malade. Tombe de Samuel.
You don't happen to know, being the gravedigger and all, where Samuel Gordon's grave is? He must have been buried in 1981.
That's a tough one, lad. So many people died here 12 years ago, good and evil alike, in the strangest of circumstances. I really can't remember who ended up where. You'd be better off talking to Father Frederick, the priest. Perhaps he can remember.
Ok. Il est où?
Where would I find the priest then?
Today? Well, you won't find him at all. He left around midday. Some conference or other. Supposed to be back by noon tomorrow, though.
Bon, bah,
I'd better be going.
C'est l'heure d'aller
Keep
espioter.
your
Hein.
eyes peeled, lad.
Bye. On retourne à l'hôtel, on pionce et c'est bon. Je repasserai demain. Voilà. Allez.
Oh, is it that late already?
Bah oui. Oh, c'est un peu dangereux dans les bois.
That's a walking map of the area around Willow Creek. I don't want to use it at the moment.
Oh il veut pas utiliser la carte parce qu'il va se passer des choses sur le chemin. C'est ça, hein? Oh non, c'est nul. Si c'est ça, c'est nul.
That's a walking map.
Ok. Bon, allez, on va pas prendre la carte pour se téléporter, alors on va y aller à pied, à la main. Ça marche. Qu'est-ce qui pourrait se passer?
Ah! Those must be wild boars. There's supposed to be plenty of them around here.
OMG. OMG là!
Or demonic hellhounds, as they say in the local fables.
Ce tease. Non, mais on va arriver jusqu'à... Ah, t'inquiète, Avia. Remember the game had a few bugs, especially with the map. Ah, it's not a bug. It's because it's scripted. It was obvious he didn't want to use the map to teleport just because there would be a script. So...
Whoa!
C'est pas des sangliers.
I better get out of here fast if I don't want to get mauled.
Qu'est-ce que... Oui. Non, mais... Non, qu'est-ce que tu veux? Qu'est-ce que tu veux que je fasse? Il y en a devant, derrière. Devant, derrière. RIP. Okay. J'ai bien fait de sauvegarder, dites donc.
Why should I go into the middle?
Ok. Mais,
Or demonic hellhounds, as they say in the local fables. Whoa!
J'ai un
I
couteau.
better get out of here fast if I don't want to get mauled.
Partir d'ici très vite. Mais je peux rien faire. Ah ah, ok. Oh putain. Oh putain.
Jeez, that was close. I can't keep this up for too long. How come I'm not waking up? This must just be a nightmare.
Uh-huh.
Have they gone?
Là, il va y avoir du tease.
Calm before the storm? I think I better wait until those beasts have lost their appetite.
On s'arrête là. On s'arrête là. Visiblement, on va pas pouvoir rentrer. On est toujours au chapitre 1. Hein. Autocollant fluorescent. Ok, on va s'arrêter là. Ouais, allez. Je pense que c'est mieux. Comme ça, on fait pas mentir Avia qui fait ce tease. Je vérifie. Last cabane. Ok. Tac. Quitter le menu principal. Oh là là. Eh bien, si vous avez regardé cette vidéo sur Twitch, sur YouTube, c'était Telekino avec l'épisode numéro 1 de Black Mirror 3. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine.